This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
It's Eric Nagel. It starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
Hello, thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Eric. Over there is Jordan.
Hi, everybody.
For some reason...
Every time. It's just one of those days.
Look, the studio reset.
What day is it?
Reset. The lights are wrong. Everything. Whereas I went to go live, it's like, all of a sudden, I can't hear myself in here. Look, all the lights went off. Everything. Whatever. Welcome to the program, everybody. We're glad you're here. This is a Make Good show from the show we were supposed to do earlier in the week, which was just a whole other slew of problems, which we'll get into in just a second. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, I don't know if we're live at this point, but if it is on, fantastic. If not, you can listen to it at another time at your convenience. If you want to join us in the live rooms, you can head over to YouTube and to Twitch, both under It's Eric Nagel. You can be part of the show there, and It's Eric Nagel across the board, all the social media platforms here. Perry Como opening up the show. It's a good day. It better be a good day because we were all set to go 50 minutes ago.
I was going to say.
And then all of a sudden, cameras turn off. This turns off. That turns off. It's like a possession. A haunting.
I mean, obviously, it's not. Obviously, as we're doing this live, it's not Thursday like we normally do. We're doing a nice Saturday show. Like you said, it's a Make Good. We're going to go over a few things and kind of catch up over the last 2 weeks. We didn't do a show last week. There's reasons. Originally, it was like, hey, I've got the whole day. I've got some stuff in the afternoon. Let's go ahead and do it. Sure, 4:30 Arizona time. And then it kind of evolved into 5 o'clock Arizona time. And then it just got pushed further and further and further as Eric's computer and cameras and lighting and audio and everything keeps going wrong.
I think I got to have a call into the Elgato people because I think their Camlink thing is dying on me.
Right.
Because I have no other, the cameras are fine, the other systems are fine. It just seems to keep losing the camera connection. If it does this, you can rest assured I'm punching a lot of things with my fist, and the F word is flying around profusely. So that's what was going on for here. But we are here. We're here finally.
We are here.
And now the program, because everybody likes to hear what your problems are. And this will be no different because we've got a lot more. Why weren't we here on Thursday when we were supposed to do the show for it to go out Friday for iHeart and all that? Well, I will tell you. First of all, Foxy, thank you very much. I know what you're doing. He knows what he's doing. It's from a fun game that they play later on Twitch.
It's a fun game.
Anyway. So why are we doing this now? All right, Thursday. So we were supposed to do the show, and then a little thing called life happens, and then you have to start prioritizing things, and you go
a little bit.
I guess real life is taking precedence over this thing. We have to do this show. We're required to do a show once a week, so we pushed it off till tonight. We haven't done a show on Saturday night, I don't think. Last time I did a Saturday night show, I think was the first year we did the show on Sirius XM.
Yeah, I think the last off Thursday show was a Friday night show because we just had to push a day or yeah. So, but yeah, I think this is the first time I think I've done anything with Saturday night. So why not? Right. Saturday night's right for fighting.
It happens. All right. So Thursday, we were getting ready to do the show. There was something that happened a couple hours prior that I thought might have subsided, might have been okay by the time we were ready to go. My kid hurts her hand in an elevator door. Now, I don't have her. I wasn't there. She was with her nanny, and they were at an after-school program, and the building's like 3 stories, I think. So they were in the elevator, and like little kids do, just like, oh, that they just do things without thinking. The door's about to, you know how it closes, and then last little oomph to close the door to make sure it's sealed before it goes like this, sticks her hand right in between the elevator door. And, luckily they hit the thing. The elevator doesn't move. They're trying to pry the door open. They got the door open. Like an ambulance was called. And of course, when you call an ambulance, like the fire department has to show up.
Yeah, I think they hand them.
So they're checking her out. I don't even know this is going on yet. Like all this is happening. I still am not aware. Like nobody has told me this is happening. They check out the kid. They thought maybe her fingers were broken. They're not broken, but her hands were all pretty cut up. And I get the phone call. So we run to go, pick her up, check on her and everything. The nanny's upset. The library's kind of freaking out. And it's like, well, what are we supposed to do? It's a little kid. Check everything. Kid's good. Everything's good. A lot of scarring on the head, but she'll heal fast. She's got, when you're a kid that age, everything doesn't stay permanent. You have that super regeneration power that eventually fades away as you get older.
Yeah, I sleep wrong and I get 6 weeks of PT.
Yeah,
like I don't get how kids do this anymore.
Right. So, so we didn't have to go to the hospital, didn't have to go to the emergency room. We were monitoring it for a while. The kid was traumatized. And as showtime was coming around, she was not snapping out of this. So I said, I can't. This isn't going to happen. So was dealing with all that. And then because, when you have a traumatic situation like this, there's a lot of infighting and arguing over the stupid nonsense that doesn't need to be argued over. So that escalated within the family. And then finally everything settled down by the next day. Kid's okay. Kid's doing fine. Her hand kind of looks like if you took Deadpool's mask off. So it's like these two fingers here, the middle finger and what is this, the ring finger?
Yes.
Like that. Yeah. So all cut up, but keeping it clean, Neosporin, all that stuff. No stitches. I thought that was the other thing it was going to need. Stitches were fine.
It's crazy that it would do that much damage. I mean, those things usually, if you put your hand in there, obviously it's got the sensor or it's got the bumpers where it says, hey, maybe you shouldn't have something in there. Her hand's probably so small that it didn't register. I just don't know what's in that doorway that would cause that much damage. I would think it would be more like, just pressure damage. Like it squished it, maybe like you said, maybe broke a finger or two, but cutting it up, that just seems kind of weird. And when you told me this the other night, when we were talking about it, for some reason I pictured her when she was on the outside of the elevator, right? Not the inside of the elevator. So, I guess if it's, if she's going to be in that situation, good thing you guys were in there to be able to hit that. Well, the nanny and whoever else hit that button and get that emergency stop going. But yeah, that sucks. And kids she's going to remember that as going to be like one of those traumatizing, core memory type situations. Yeah. She'll always bring it up.
That night was difficult too, because even if we were doing the show, I kept getting alerts on the monitor system that they have. They checks everything. Their breathing, their temperature. If the temperature, like right now, we're in that weird time period where it can be 70 one day and 30 the next.
What's that like?
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't know anything.
I don't know anything about that.
For the normal people living in regular areas, you might understand this. It's not quite fully fall yet. Summer's still trying to creep in a tiny bit, so everything's fluctuating. So you get alerts when there's dramatic temperature change in the road. Yeah. It's just way too precise on a lot of things. It kept going off, and she was having a terrible time. She was panic sleeping, or I don't want to say night terrors, but she was waking up screaming all the time. She would sleep maybe 20 minutes and then up. So,
that kind of describes night terrors. It's just, she went through some shit.
I thought night terrors was like a post-traumatic thing,
night
from
terrors
war
can be
or whatever.
Anything, really.
Okay.
No, anybody can have night terrors.
So yeah, it was a difficult time. I didn't go to bed till 7 a.m. the next day because I was pretty much in the kids' room most of the night, outside of talking to you later that night about what was going on. So, so that prevented the Thursday show. And then Friday was still just, watching the kid. There wasn't a show the week before that because we were at New York Comic Con doing interviews and what have you. And that first day just wiped me out. It was a long day, got home and I said, all right, I got to go over to the studio to do this. And I was like, this is not going to happen.
I was going to say, because we had every intention of doing a show that Thursday, because Thursdays usually with these cons aren't usually the busy day. You got your Friday panels and interviews.
Not for the Thursday's people attending, but for the people doing interviews and stuff. Thursday and Friday are the big days. Saturday is the big day for both the audience and the press. And then Sunday, there's no press going on. It's just families who couldn't get tickets to the first previous. They just wanted to walk the floor and buy stuff.
They want to go shopping. Yeah. But see, like Thursday, we talked about it and we kind of had a game plan. You're like, hey, this is when I'm going to be home. Everything should be fine. We'll get the show prep going.
Right.
At one point, you're like, I am dying. I'm just exhausted. And you were supposed to be there at least, I think, 1 or 2 more days. So I was like, all right, yeah, no big deal. We'll do whatever we got to do. And I think you got home. You said, hey, I'm home. Maybe later I'll jump on. I didn't hear from you for like a day and a half. You were just gone from the world. Thought you died.
Trashitarian in chat. Yay, show. Oh, shit. Story I just came into. Yeah, I know.
Happy Saturday. Eric's kid almost died.
Wish I had a better situation to start the show with. It's like, here's some fun stuff that was happening as to why we didn't do the show, but alas, was not the case. The New York Comic Con stuff. We're not going into that here. There's a separate show coming out. It'll be available on the iHeart feed. The interviews are already available up on our YouTube channel, so you can go there and check them out. But the full show will go out for the iHeart and the RSS stuff for the other platforms. Hopefully tomorrow, I think, if not Monday, the latest. But sometime this weekend, you'll get the New York Comic Con show for 2024. You can go and check that out. We'll talk about all the interviews, obviously, that we did. Some of the interviews that we had the opportunity to, but I was just like, I'm not going back in for a third day. And
still jealous, like you should have gone.
Some of the interviews that we were supposed to have, but some people have, 19 people around them and everybody can't get organized and they screw everything up. And then they're like, why didn't you show up to the interview? Because you didn't confirm it. And that's your fault. So what can I do? Anyway, all that's on the New York Comic Con show. You can watch that there. How have you been?
Not too bad. Like you alluded, we don't have real weather here. It's been warm, uncharacteristically warm. Right. However, today I was driving over to go do some stuff and it was 85 and I had all the windows down in my car, sunroof open, and it was like, this is nice. And then after I was done doing what I was doing, it was too hot. So I had to run the air conditioning and so we're just we're not really getting a lot of great cool down weather,
right?
Just, whatever. And we're like a week away from Halloween, which really bums me out. You're going out trick or treating. You think you'd want that cooler weather and hanging out and stuff like that, and it's still up in the 90s. It kind of makes stuff. This is Halloween. There you go. That is Halloween.
I know. Production, folks.
Production. So that's kind of a bummer about it. But the kids got their costumes. I've got my costume. I'm gonna go trick or treating this year.
You're dressing up?
Damn right, I'm gonna dress up, Eric. You're never too old to dress up, you curmudgeon. From a man who puts 1,000 inflatables in front of his house, you should be dressing up and having a good time.
Well,
you've got a neighbor to compete with now, so you
do have a costume.
Step up your game.
I forgot I do have a costume.
What is it?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Give me 1 second. I'll go grab it. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're going to get it. So this year, the kids, it's weird because I got 2 kids, daughter and a son. Daughter's older. She kind of doesn't want to dress up. She was one of those, I'm too old to dress up kind of attitudes about it. And I kind of talked her back into it. I'm of the mind that, who cares? Have fun. Don't grow up. It's boring. It's stupid. I hate paying bills. I hate having a job. All these things. Have fun with it. So she decided she's going to be Freddy Krueger, which is kind of cool, female Freddy Krueger. And then the boy is going to be something from Fortnite. I mean, I've lost track of all the characters anymore, but here we go. The reveal of what is that? Luchador Batman Funko?
Day of the Dead Batman.
Day of the Dead. Oh, which is, I think it's like now. Very cool. Did you get that this year, or was that
our Spanish-speaking audience?
Hola, ¿Dónde está Eric?
Happy Day of the Dead.
Your Spanish is great.
See,
did you get that this year at Comic-Con? Was this a last year carry?
I am, but it came out Doy. Happy Day of the Dead. We'll play songs from Coco and Encanto throughout the show.
I'm fine with that. Coco has a good soundtrack. I actually dressed up as Miguel from Coco one year because the boy was so into it. So I got the hoodie and the painted my face. I'm all into Halloween, man.
Okay.
But yeah, my costume this year is going to be awesome enough to where it fits the idea of me actually trick-or-treating with them and trying to get candy from everybody. So it'll be good.
Fantastic.
Why not?
Why not?
I pay for the candy when I can grift it from my neighbors.
I know, because it's only $4, $5 a bag. for 65 pieces.
No, they've gotten expensive. You can't get they used to be those bags you can get with like all the different ones, like the Hershey bars. You got the Butterfingers, whatever, and now they're charging like $22 for like the big bag. I'm like, this is dumb. I'm just gonna go get it from everybody else.
Dia de los Muertos. Yes, thank you, Foxy. Coming correct
Spanish
from the heart of Spanish civilization, San Diego. Which
Look, it's the best burrito you've ever had.
Whale's vagina.
It does. I've heard that.
Fantastic.
But yeah,
I have
that's fun.
I want to show you something since you were talking about the candy. I saw something recently. I'm going to transfer it over here. I saw it was going through because you got to look, even if you don't do Halloween, you got to have at least a bowl of candy for the people coming around.
Do you still do that? Yeah, because I don't. Like, we don't. So my neighborhood, the way it works is it's a little darker because I'm in a more rural area. So I tend to get the kids. We'll go over to grandma's. I know, dark.
Yes.
Don't talk about my neighbors.
Okay.
So it doesn't have a lot of street lights because they want to keep, the desert stars and stuff like that, which is nice. I like that. But
light pollution.
Light pollution. Yes, correct. Yes. So it doesn't really lend for a good Halloween trick-or-treating experience. So we usually, get together, head over to grandma's neighborhood, and that's where the good stuff is. And we'll go trick-or-treating.
Tastes like
over
grandma.
It's like a Werther's Originals everywhere.
You're right. It does taste like grandma.
But that's what we'll do. And yeah, it's that's usually kind of the kick. So I'd never leave candy out.
Right.
It's like, why? I'm not there.
I got to admit, like in the last several years, they've really discouraged trick-or-treating at all in a lot of neighborhoods. Trunk or treat, other programs. They do if they don't do trunk or treat at like police stations, schools, fire departments, library. Yeah, they have parties at school now. Mm-hmm. They do parades. I found out my kid has a half day on Halloween. I just found out. So the whole school at like an hour and a half before they get out has a big Halloween parade where I guess the younger grades walk through the hallways with music playing and stuff so everyone could see the little kids' costumes. Now, granted, the school's like kindergarten through 6th or something like that. So they're all little kids, but the little kids walk through. They do that. I guess they in the gym or their auditorium, they have a bunch of stuff, candy and food and what have you. I have to pick the kid up at 11:10. The kid's school starts at 8:20. And I'm sitting there and
barely going to be there.
Yeah, barely going to be there. It's like I drop her off. I go maybe to the store, turn around, and come right back. Where they're pretty willy-nilly dealing out these half days and days off. Where back in my day growing up, you would get penalized if you took a snow day. Like if you took a snow day, something happened. And it's like, look, we got to make up those days because of budget concerns, and the state requires a certain amount of days, and all this other shit. I mean, when and I got to talk about some dates that we forgot to announce, but coming up this week is the anniversary here in this area for Hurricane Sandy that devastated the New York City area. That's
right.
And schools were closed and whatever, and they still had to make up the days. Like they went almost to the beginning of July because of days closed because of the hurricane. And that happened right around Halloween that year in 2012. And you're like, seriously, a major event like that happened? And you're still going to like, well, we didn't get enough days in, so you're going to have to cut into your summer vacation time in order to make this up. I would have been like, fuck off. That's like saying, well, I still need you to work 2 days, even though you're taking next week off for your vacation.
Right.
No. In fact, I won't come back to this school next year. Well, you can't. You have to. It's the law. Crap. You're right.
School schedules have changed a lot lately because they do half days, almost like weekly now. Where half days are, I think Wednesdays are half days in my like district. So like, there's always all the school buses are out when I'm picking up the kid.
That's right.
2 weeks of fall break.
Jordan doesn't know whether. I mean, at least you have nice 7-degree consistent weather there, and you have rain. Jordan has a desert climate all year long.
All year. We actually did get snow in the high country, but there's no chance I'm going up there.
The high country, meaning
the high country
above sea level.
Yeah, pretty much.
You were talking about candy, the Halloween candy stuff.
Yeah.
I meant to talk about this. So I saw candy that is now available, and this is probably a step above the worst thing you could do for Halloween, and that's the ones that are giving out like pennies or toothbrushes, the little dental kits and stuff. We had a dentist where I was growing up on Long Island. We had a dentist in the area, and they would always give out those little sample bags that you would give to patients because, Crest bought you off or AIM or something, right?
Personal toothpaste, maybe a toothbrush.
It was like
flossers.
it was a cheap toothbrush, a small little travel size of toothpaste, and dental floss.
Yeah.
Right. And they were in little bags with the corporate logo on it. People would take these things and whatever. Later at night, they'd be all up on her roof, in her bushes
over there.
Yeah, they were just hucking them over there. Like I said, giving away dental supplies is just as bad as giving away pennies, bowls of pennies. We're like, oh, we didn't have candy this year, so we're going to give you coins. Because kids nowadays, they don't deal with currency. Hard cash is not a thing to them. And that's not like saying back an old man, shakes fist at cloud kind of thing. Money has gone.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You rarely see it.
Someone sitting on their porch, just like, all right, kids, what's your Venmo? And then they just get put on 3 cents onto each account.
There's a QR code for your Cash App. And you sit there in a rendering list.
Right.
And then you go through there and you're like, $2, $2, just down the line for everybody that came around. So they never deal with physical cash at all. We saw it during COVID, which I still think was an excuse for them to collect all the money and not put it back into circulation.
Yeah.
Because you saw in all the stores, due to the pandemic, it was like coin currency,
mainly coins,
was no longer or was not in circulation or something, or they couldn't get coins. I forgot the wording, but I remember
they said it was short. It was all the signs that I kept seeing was it was a coin shortage. No one explained what the shortage was. It was just shortage. I got to go back
to around that time, see if I can find the screenshot that I had up there, where there was official signs, not just like a printout or a handwritten thing by the supermarket or Target or something, saying that, okay, we don't have actual coins to do currency. I'm sorry. It wasn't that. It was like official government signage that was saying that there's a coin shortage, so that they will not be able to accept certain denominations and what have you, because they just didn't have the money to do that, which I think technically is illegal. If it's legal currency, it has to be exchanged and it has to be taken. But
which is always what bothers me when you roll up to a place. It's like, we don't accept anything above a 20. I was like, yeah, you will, and you'll like it.
Yeah,
it's legal tender.
Right.
I get so frustrated with that.
Look, it's not my problem that your night guy has a security issue trying to get that little zipped up bag either to the night deposit slot or the Brinks truck that comes around trying to collect. That's not my concern. The law says you have to take my Mr. Grant right here and give me proper change for it.
Now, to be fair, I haven't seen a Mr. Grant in a while, but I mean,
they're peach color now.
Are they?
Like I noticed a couple years ago, I haven't seen a 50 in a while either. And I saw somebody with it. I go, can I see that a second? No, you can. I said, no, seriously. I just want to see the color. And it's like peach and purple. It's
so weird.
It looks like a tapestry.
But see, that's a lot of
pastels.
Almost lends to your point. We don't use paper or even coin currency. I hate when I get change. I have at this point, whenever I get change back from anything, I throw it in either my door handle or some kind of little cup or something in my car, and I just start collecting change in my car because I don't use it for anything. I hate change. I don't even like having paper money anymore. It's just so inconvenient.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, back to the candy stuff. So worst things to give out during trick-or-treating, dental supplies, handfuls of change. Above that, old-fashioned candy that doesn't need to exist anymore. Mary Jane.
The orange and black, like peanut butter. What are they, like marzipan? Do you remember those?
Vaguely. I'm not a marshmallow person, so I think I know what you're talking about.
Marzipan or something like that. They were almost like peanut butter flavored, but they were always wrapped in that orange wax paper or the black wax paper. And sometimes you can get out of there. Other times the paper you just
I'd have to see it, but I don't think I
you were in one of those bougie rich neighborhoods.
So like the Mary Janes, the Good and Plenty's, are terrible. Circus peanuts are like they're all terrible. I know people have that argument over every year about candy corn. I don't give a fuck. I hate it. I don't care if you like it or you hate it.
I don't mind
it's
it.
It's not a conversation I want to have. I don't like it. Like I even like Werther's Originals over that thing, and I'm not a caramel person either. So, Rolos. I have a history with Rolos. When I was like 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that area.
Are you about to shit on Rolos? Because I like Rolos.
I ate they used to come in like a stack.
Yeah, it was like a long tube, and they were stacked in there.
Freeze or something, right?
Yeah, it was wrapped in foil and paper.
And I ate that, and I remember getting so sick. Maybe because I ate the whole thing. I
ate all of it. Yeah,
that it turned me off of chocolate and caramel for caramel still is something I rarely will have. I know it's in apple pie, but like it's got to be in a certain situation that I'll even touch it because I don't want to look at it. I don't want to smell it. Chocolate. I didn't eat chocolate up until about 10 years ago. Nothing,
so weird.
Nothing chocolate at all. Chocolate milk, nope. Chocolate, anything. Ice cream, candy, nothing.
That's sad.
And then I found Ghirardelli's and I eat the dark chocolate. So
dark chocolate's fine, but I do like a good
like 72% or higher. That's what I'll eat.
It's funny because funny that you mentioned Rolos. I saw those the other day when I was shopping, and I thought I haven't had a Rolo in forever. I didn't buy any, but I really heavily considered it because I do like Rolos.
I hate Rolos. I think it's disgusting. I look at them now and then online. I go, I can't believe this is still a thing. It's just it looks like a chocolate lava cake, and then you open it up and just
they're delicious.
Oh, fucking
and
terrible.
You know what's funny about Rolos is there's really no variations of a Rolo. You know, Kit Kat does 1,000 different flavors. Snickers is kind of varied into different flavors now. Rolos.
What are you gonna do? Essentially, Rolo is essentially like a milk dud. It's the same fucking thing. It's chocolate with terrible caramel in the middle of it.
Put a little sea salt in there. You can do some stuff with Rolo. Give me some dark chocolate Rolos.
It's fucking gross. Foxy's saying taffy. Yeah, I don't like a lot of taffy stuff either. I grew up in an area here in the East Coast where everyone's grandparents thought that saltwater taffy from Atlantic City or from New Jersey was like the greatest gift you could give a kid. No kid liked saltwater taffy. It's ancient as hell. It's like a century-old candy that was from a time when Hershey was just coming out with its chocolate bar, and that's what you had to do with, and black licorice.
Or those Necco wafers. It was Necco wafers, saltwater taffy, the new Hershey bar out on the market. It was like
something like that, right? So
or pastels, whatever they would call them.
So yeah, saltwater taffy is terrible. Then there's Laffy Taffy.
I liked Laffy Taffy, except the banana. I was never a banana fan.
Yeah, artificial banana is terrible. The Laffy Taffy is okay. I didn't like the squares. I liked the long bar.
Laffy Taffy long bar. What about the Now and Later? Do you Now and Later?
Now and Later were good, but when I started realizing this was going to break my teeth, I stopped.
That's exactly why I stopped too.
But the Laffy Taffy was okay. People like Airheads. Something else. I hate all of that shit. So I agree with Foxy that taffy is terrible. He's also saying Rolos are softer than Milk Duds. They're both terrible. They're awful.
Milk Duds I can go I don't like they just get stuck in my teeth. And you're right. As you get older, you realize I don't want to deal with this.
And you should immediately unfriend anybody that tells you, "Oh, I like Milk Duds and I put them in my popcorn at the movie theater." Fuck off. You were blocked in real life. How do I block you in real life and report you in real life? Because that is disgusting. I don't want to deal with it. People are saying, Jared the Geek saying Rolos are great, or rolls are great. I'm with you with rolls.
You know what? A good sourdough roll, I'm fine with.
I know.
What? For Halloween, I'm handing out rolls.
Fantastic. What's better? Good soft Italian bread.
That's what they need to add to Thanksgiving is a new thing where you walk around and people just hand you rolls like Halloween for candy. That would be great.
Jared's also saying Laffy Taffy is legit. I have not had one in forever.
Well,
I haven't had them in forever either. They did what Pop-Tarts fucked up. They did the same thing. They changed their original product, which was good. Laffy Taffy, the bars, and the long bars, you would get them in the massive display of candy at 7-Eleven. They were good. But then they put little snap pieces into them or glitter pieces and stuff. It couldn't just be the taffy. It had to have extra shit in it. And it's gross.
Oh, yeah. They did taffy with nerds.
Just like Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts were perfectly fine. And then they put the frosting on it, which is debatable depending on the flavor. But then they put other shit on top of the frosting. Like there's little flavor specks and sprinkles and all this other nonsense. And you just go, enough. You ruined a good thing. Just go back to basics, but they won't do that.
All right. So I have a friend of mine, Casey, who has given me a perfect picture of what I was trying to describe to you. Do you remember these at all? I know it's a little blurry, but...
Are they Brock's candy? Are they like that?
I don't think they're Brock's. To be honest with you, it's like the strawberry candies. I don't know where they come from. They're just there. I've never seen them in stores.
We're doing a
I've never purchased them.
Radio bit that we've always made fun of people around.
Are
Halloween.
hot dogs a sandwich, Eric?
Yes. And what about that pickle as a sandwich?
Oh, I'll do a pickle as a sandwich.
What about, where are you with Peeps? Peeps suck, by the way. But yeah, where are you?
I hate Peeps.
All right. Anyway, enough with the candy shit. Back to what I was saying. The worst candy, because that's what it was. I was building from the bottom
building up.
This is now a new contender for the worst candy. You're going to love it. I'm sure you are. And I'm sure we'll hear from our pal Gabby down old Mexico way when she comes in here.
Is it
Have
mango
you seen
candy?
this shit?
Yes, those are so good. I've had those. You can get them at like Sam's Club. Oh, I think you can get them at Walmart now, but I've seen them at Sam's Club. They are delicious.
With the what is it? Tajin. Stop putting tahine on everything.
Oh, Eric, you're missing out. Those are delicious.
Tahine. I know it's been around since what, the 80s or something, right?
I don't remember.
But it's like it's like where sriracha was. Everybody was putting sriracha on everything because even though sriracha had been around forever, people just discovered it. Like, oh my God, have you tried sriracha?
It's all the hipsters.
And then there was sriracha, and then they built plants that was apparently poisoning people in San Francisco, which is hilarious. Please keep doing that. But outside of that, they put it in everything, and it became nonsense. You know, when you find the flavor of the moment, like even before the sriracha, it was pomegranate. Pomegranate been around since before human beings, and everyone's like, have you tried pomegranate? Pomegranate juice. You got to get the palm juice. You got to get all this. Stop. Just because you discovered it, it's like Gen Z people. Millennials were doing this too for a while, but they grew out of it, and now they're feeling old, which I'm happy for. But the Gen Z people, when they go in there, it's like, wait a minute. Did you know that these Ziploc bags, like, did you know if you put the yellow and the blue together, it makes a green line so that you know that it's closed? Yes, I remember in the 80s when they came out with the thing. This isn't just because it's new to you doesn't mean the world is, having a religious experience here, discovering something for the first time.
Everything's cyclical. People are going to discover.
That's what this is with tagine.
I love tahine. I do love those though. Those are
terrible.
Really good. They're good.
No, look, I mean, I understand culturally. It's important. People like it, and I get that. If you're in Mexico or of Mexican descent and you love that stuff, you should. It's your thing.
I'm close enough to
I don't need it on my stuff. I don't need it on my things. Gummy bears are German. I don't need Mexican spice on German gummy bears.
You're missing out.
I'm not missing out.
I am going to say you are missing out. Those
For
are
years,
actually
I would
really
see
delicious.
the little street vendors with their cups of fresh fruit. They're chopping up watermelon and mango and pineapple, and they're putting the tahine on it and selling it that way. I know people love it, but stop putting it on everything.
Here's the thing. I am old enough, and I think they still have it. I've never seen it in stores again. I think it's just mainly on the ice cream trucks. But when I was growing up, the ice cream trucks would go around, and you get your ice cream, you get your Pink Panther bar or your Ninja Turtle bar. But they also would sell
giant foot with the big gumball.
The giant foot with the gumball toe. Yeah.
Yep.
They would sell the stuff called Lucas, which is pretty much
on the second floor. Did you know that? Or she, yeah. And then she got
this
beat
would
up.
be basically tahine. It was just it was like the lime, flavoring and mango, the stuff you put on mangoes. But Lucas was like the big thing. And that's basically what this is. And these are delicious. They'd make the peach rings, the gummy rings, the apple and the watermelon, and they do the tahine
too. Stop that.
Stop that. Hater. To take the vernacular of the children.
Well, hold on. Let me read what Jared had wrote. Jared in the chat saying, corporations ruin everything. They take new flavors too
that's
far.
true.
Yes. But look, they're jumping on easy money because something comes into the lexicon either by social media or just word of mouth. They jump on it because if people are willing to buy it, then it might become a long time thing. Look at pumpkin spice. It has been around forever.
Don't you
and
dare.
then I think in the 90s is when it became the staple for coffee and other like Starbucks and all that. Now here we are. Almost 30 years later, if not 30 years later, and it's still a thing. And
Look,
speaking of
it's
silly
good for
things,
the
why is this
16-year-old
thing
girls
still on
like
the
me.
screen? Turn that off. Thank you.
So Lucas was tamarind and tahini. Yeah, so I mean that's what I grew up with. Every ice cream truck had Lucas you can buy. It was like $1. So good.
I'm going to transfer this over, but you had mentioned jelly rings.
Yes.
And
I used
not
to eat
jelly
the
rings.
peach-
Sorry, the peach rings.
Peach rings, apple,
Peach rings
watermelon.
used to be what is the big did you have 7-Elevens growing up near you, or did you have
we
that
had
other one?
7-Eleven,
that's
Circle
near you
K,
that's sort of
QT.
7-Eleven?
QT.
Speedway?
Oh, wait, Speedway, yeah.
Speedway. That's technically 7-Eleven, right? Aren't they the same company or something?
Yeah, I think 7-Eleven actually bought Speedway maybe about a year and a half ago. So all the Speedways are technically still Speedways, but they're 7-Elevens.
Okay. So you had those growing up. You would have the standard staples of what were the impulse buys by the register at 7-Eleven. Growing up in the New York City area and on Long Island was those chocolate covered raspberry jelly rings that were sitting in open air in little plastic holders.
Yeah, we
And
never
you
had
could
that.
just grow and touch them. They weren't wrapped. They were just sitting there.
Sounds disgusting.
They had that, and they had individual Cellas, the chocolate covered cherry.
Oh yeah, I love
They would have there. So those were like your typical
It's
buy.
like a cherry cordial.
Yeah. It's not like it's the. It's
I mean,
the
yeah, that's what I'm
premier.
saying. It's like
Screw you with the Queen Anne love, and all that stuff with the white cream. You got to go. The Cellas is the premier, the top tier for your cherry cordial needs.
yeah, I am glad you introduced me to the Cellas because yeah, I was a Queen Anne's guy for the longest time.
And
then you're like,
glad
try
you
this, and I was
err
like, yes,
your
sir.
ways. So I was at 7-Eleven the other day, and I see something by the register there, and I go, "This is ridiculous." Because at first I thought it was like a package of Bang Snaps. Remember those?
Oh, those little poppers.
The things you would get from the ice cream guy
Yeah.
when you had like 25, 50 cents left over. You bought the Bang Snaps and you would throw them at your friends because they sounded like little gunshots. And
You're either
stuff.
buying the Bang Snaps or the balsa wood airplane that would break after like
Right.
3 throws.
So look at this caffeinated chocolate.
Oh,
Now, chocolate has some natural caffeine in it.
a little bit.
Let's say, hey, let's
Not
make
enough.
chocolate, but as we're making the recipe, let's just throw like a couple cans of Jolt Cola into the mix.
It's like Monster Energy chocolate.
So this thing called Charge caffeinated chocolates, and I picked it up because I'm looking at it. I go, what is this? And it felt like the shape felt like a giant fireball. You know, like
Was it a hard candy or was it? I mean, it's chocolate.
I don't know. I
it's
didn't
gotta
squeeze it. The guy at the register was sitting there
You
looking
didn't
at
fondle
me.
the chocolate.
I wasn't fondling chocolate, I'm like squeezing it, and then he's gonna say, you have to pay for that. But yeah, I saw this there, and I go, that's new. I've never seen that. So I
You need to
maybe
buy
have
one?
to go back a few. I'll go and get a few, and I'll throw in a box with the stuff I got to mail to you.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'll try those. I
Try
mean,
that
I
on
mainline caffeine anyway. I barely get any sleep, so
Right.
I mean, if I
So,
can eat
yeah.
chocolate and do it, why not?
No tahine covered candies for no spicy candy, nothing fiery, nothing flaming hot.
Not a you're not a
nothing
fireball
that-
guy.
Nah, I didn't mind like Big Red, even though that could get overpowering at some point. But all that heavy.
Well, that
cinnamon
big red
stuff-
freshness does get right to it.
What was the one that had the devil logo on it? Were they Red Hots or something?
Red Hots, yeah.
Red Hots, the little cinnamon candies and stuff. Yeah, I didn't like any of that stuff. I was very bored.
We did have this conversation once before when we were talking about candies that have long since passed, and my favorite were always like lemon heads or the cherry clan, which were very racist. I caught, and I'll have to send you I'll send you the screenshot. I was watching, I think it was an episode of Seinfeld, and they had a box of the cherry clan candies on the countertop near the register when you were in the cafe, and I'm like, that's amazing. I completely forgot about it. So I'll send that over. It was
Did
really
it still
fun.
have the inappropriate packaging?
Oh yeah. I mean,
You
this
should
was
Buy
back
one
in
and
the
just put
90s.
it. Buy one. Oh,
No, this
even
was
now.
on TV.
It's like you should buy one and put it on that shelf behind you there. That's
That's a collector's item. Maybe
not
they
a
make
collector
them.
item, it's a conversation piece, so you can go back and
You're like,
hey,
is that an inappropriate Asian stereotype on your cherry candy? It is, and
So
it's
you-
delicious.
So I'm looking on quick thing. I'm looking on eBay, right? And I'm looking at some clothing on eBay, and I was I was looking for something specific, and I'm going down the list of for what I was searching, and there's an Abercrombie and Fitch something, right?
Hmm.
And I was like,
I'm already
Abercrombie
out.
and Fitch. Okay. So I clicked on it just to look at it. And then when you look at something else, it tells you, if you scroll down, when you go to look at the description, if you go too far, it gives you suggested other auctions, either by that person or similar items. I'll have to go back and take a screenshot of it. I don't know why I didn't do it at the time, but I'm going down and I click this. I'm like, I see this t-shirt with some kind of racial Asian drawing on it, right?
Oh no.
So I click on it. It's an Abercrombie and Fitch t-shirt. It's a white t-shirt with like maroon color or wine color, one color design. And it's something for like Wong's dry cleaning.
Oh no.
And the line under it says, "Two Wongs make it white." And it says Abercrombie and Fitch on it. So I was like, holy fuck. Now the guy wanted 40 something bucks for it. And I was like, that's a bit pricey for the novelty item. But I did the watch follow, because every now and then, if it doesn't sell, they'll do a push and say, hey, look, we're not.
I mean, you don't even have to buy the shirt. You just get that screenshot and we'll be golden.
Well, I want the shirt too.
Yeah, I want.
Because I want the shirt. Because if we ever wind up back in a regular studio again, it's going on the wall.
You're like, I'm going to wear it to every PTA meeting for the kid. It's going to be great.
Yeah. So I'm going to put up there when people go, that's offensive. Yeah, I know. What is Abercrombie and Fitch doing? By the way, did you see the Abercrombie and Fitch guy, the CEO, whatever, is under all these charges now for like sex trafficking, sexual abuse for all these boys?
I mean, I
don't know if it's current. I know nothing about Abercrombie and Fitch.
I was going to say, I've walked by an Abercrombie, gay, but it's very dark in there.
Very gay. The ones in Manhattan, if you walk past, like the ones up near Fifth Avenue, they had like shirtless guys or guys in really tight outfits standing outside trying to coerce you to come into the store. And you're just like, yeah, none of that stuff is even remotely close to fitting me. So I'm never going to look into that store.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot going on with Abercrombie and Fitch that I had no idea. So maybe that's something we look at down the line. Anyway, back to Halloween stuff here.
Yep.
Let's reset.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween.
So we all know about the giant 10-foot Oogie Boogie that I have.
Yes, very, very much like that.
And essentially, the front of my house has become a big, I'll say, living graveyard for inflatable stuff and Halloween decorations. There's, the family goes crazy with this stuff. I'm the Christmas guy. I'm not the Halloween guy, so I don't really say much when it comes to the Halloween stuff. But the Christmas stuff, I'm finding every which way to jerry rig the plugs around the gutters, around the under the parts of the roof. If I could go full Clark Griswold on the house, I would. But
just all
one
bright.
day, yeah. Just I want you to see it from space. That's the goal. Anyway, so we have a bunch of stuff. I'm driving around my neighborhood, a lot of my neighborhood and neighboring neighborhoods, bordering neighborhoods. People put a lot of effort into their stuff. They put a lot of stuff, even if it's just colored lights and maybe one decoration or something. Fantastic. Good for that they're doing something. Some people go all out. Well, I was driving around. I saw some things. I took some photos. I got out of the car and took some photos. There's one house that's not too far from me. Is the house I think I've told you that has the 20-foot Home Depot skeleton, but it's out all year long. This was the one I think I told you that was dressed in the Olympic tracksuit.
Right. They match it to any events or holidays.
Anything that's going on, that skeleton is dressed up for whatever occasion it is.
It's a good bit. I mean, if you're going to spend that kind of money, get some use out of it.
Yeah. I mean, whatever they did, they permanently mounted it to this portion of their front yard of their house. Nice. So that thing is not toppling over, and they just keep repositioning. Like you can bend down, the arms can move, all of these things, and they dress him up for every occasion. The Olympics was the best because he's holding the Olympic rings that would light up at night. He's got the American tracksuit on. It was just, they do a great job. So I'm thinking, I should go by their house because this is his time to shine. He's meant for Halloween. Let's see what else they put up around him. They don't put up much around him. They dress him up for Halloween. So I'm driving by and I had to pull over and take this. Look at this.
Where is he?
They put the ghost head
That's really
on
funny.
top of the skeleton.
I
And
like how it's not long enough to cover. It's just the, like torso.
It's just the head. It was.
Pretty good.
I was dying. It was really funny.
That's a good bit.
And then
I like there's a little skeleton on that the little well.
right. So there is and I think I was looking at the photo later. I didn't notice it while I was taking the photo. I think he's missing his arms. Either they took his arms off or somebody stole his
Someone
arms.
stole his arms.
Now, as
I
funny
think maybe
as
they would take it off
be,
to be a ghost. Like that makes more sense.
Possible.
Possibly.
But I was going to say, as funny as it would be that somebody stole the skeleton's arms, because what's the point in doing that other than it's just a hilarious little factoid? I was hoping that wasn't the case because whoever's house this is, they put a lot of effort into doing stuff with this skeleton, and that kind of sucks. You know, when somebody puts a lot of effort into it and then somebody just goes and vandalizes things like that, I always find it pretty disheartening. But this was hilarious. So moving on, I find another house that has a whole stage show in front of their house. Now, I imagine it looks fantastic at night, but they stole my Oogie Boogie.
This is the house that I told you need to step up your game against.
Yes. So
look at that Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like your
Right.
Oogie Boogie is pretty tall.
that
thing's
is
massive.
That is the 20-foot, I think, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, because Oogie Boogie's about 9-10 feet.
Yeah.
So Stay Puft's about 20 feet, maybe 25, but I'm thinking around 20 feet. And I saw this and I went, God damn it, because I wanted to get him and have him pop up behind the fence behind Oogie Boogie.
Right.
But they beat me to it. Now,
That's really cool.
you can see everything else they have. They have like a 12-foot, 15-foot Jack Skellington. And I've seen that at Home Depot, but I just always worry, like when they're that tall and you're heading into this, weird blending of seasons, you get a lot of wind gusts and stuff. I didn't know how, like it was going to blow off and break, and I just didn't want to deal with all of that. So they have that. And then, do you see anything else in this photo here? Maybe something in the back that is catching your eye.
I mean, I see 0 in the front. I see some kind of little grouping of various characters there. What's the thing on the porch?
On the porch, it is
like right next to Jack, but between that and like the whatever pumpkin headed thing is over there.
right under Oogie Boogie's arm.
Oh, you know what? I see it now. No, I'm thinking. Well, yeah, that's cool. That looks like the terror dog from.
It is a terror dog.
Okay, I see Beetlejuice now that I keep staring at this thing.
Yes, so Beetlejuice
Right under Jack's arm.
Right. So Beetlejuice is there, and I'm standing there. I'm trying to get the right angle for this photo, and I'm like, this looks awesome. I start hearing a voice, and I'm looking around like, who the hell's talking?
Stop taking pictures of my
Beetlejuice
house.
senses when I don't know how far that sensor is, because I had to walk up on this person's lawn just to get this photo, because their front lawn's pretty long and you got to walk back to the street. It sensed I was there. It starts talking, and I was staring at it for a little bit. The lips move. It's not just a mannequin or a display where you're hearing a voice. The lips are moving. Look at this thing. And then at some point he makes a joke and his head starts spinning around.
It's funny, not until you actually zoomed in that I noticed that you've got the sandworm right below his, like right by his foot too. I'm like, oh shit.
So this thing talks, the lips move, and the head's
That's
spinning
cool.
around. Now that is what I'm interested in, and that's what I need to find where this person got this from. I might try to stop by that person's house sometime when I see cars in the driveway and just said, hey, love what your decoration and everything. Where did you get that? Or I could just do Google. That would probably be the easiest answer as well.
They're gonna gatekeep it and say like,
Right.
no, I can't tell you where I got it.
That looks fantastic.
That is
I got to
pretty cool.
get all of that stuff. Yeah, Jared, the demon dog is on the porch. I would love to get 2 of them and put them out there all year long.
The
Like how,
demon dogs.
like in Ghostbusters, the library has the lions
Yeah.
that were sitting there. Get the 2 demon dogs. If you have them on a porch so they're somewhat protected from the weather, right by your front door, and their eyes glow like they go on at night, what's better?
What they need is to keep Beetlejuice up year round and just put not even year round, just through the holidays, put a little Santa hat on him.
Yeah,
Be great. I mean, get your use out of it.
yeah. It's
That's really cool though.
it's fantastic.
I don't go as all out for my yard as I used to, like before actually even before kids, because like now everyone's got inflatables. Like I know you get your inflatables. It's not a look I like them, to do. And then I stopped decorating. Like it just
inflatables used to be really kind of shitty. And like some of them still are if you get, but some of them are really well done now. Like if you get like all the Nightmare stuff is all Disney, so they're putting out some quality products and stuff. As cool as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is, you can look if you look at it closely, like it still looks kind of shoddy. Like it's not. It's
good from a distance, but it's big.
Yeah. Well, it comes in 3 sizes. I think there's like a 6-foot one, a 10-foot one, and then a 6-foot one, 12-foot one, 20-foot one.
I was gonna say that's the 20 on the
There's
picture.
3 of them, so look for that. Finally, this place I go to every year because they have these inflatable couple. Male skeleton, female skeleton that are out there. And every year they put them in different sexual positions. And so
this wins.
I drove past and I'm like, oh, yeah, there they are. Sometimes they're in the doggy position. They're in the 69 position. The one was doing the, what's it called? The jackhammer. Where it's just holding the legs and the heads down on the ground like that.
I don't know, Eric. I don't know anything.
You know what I'm talking about. Check your search history. You can pull it up.
What is this? The Eiffel Tower?
So I was happy to see that involved. And this is interesting too. Nobody touches this.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, does nobody have everyone's uptight. Like, I think it's funny. Every time I go into Walmart with the kid, I always put the skeletons' faces close to each other as if they're going to make out. Like she gets a kick out of it. It's funny. That is hilarious. I can't imagine someone hasn't said something about it.
This is the Halloween equivalent of the people who have the decorative reindeers on their lawn, and somebody always takes one and has it mounting the other reindeer. And then when they turn on at night with the lights, you're like, oh, reindeers are fucking for Santa on Christmas.
I wonder if they put out like a survey for everybody to say, hey, what's your favorite position? That way, they can just rearrange them every now and then. Jeez, that is amazing.
Yeah, so my neighborhood can be fun when you find the right houses that want to do it. When Christmas time comes around, there's a house that I know of in the area that gift wraps the entire front of the house.
That's pretty cool.
Like, I don't know how they pull it off, but it's not like
on garage doors, but never the whole house.
It's not shitty, like cheap wrapping paper that they just tape to the thing. It's like a shrink wrap the house.
That's a level of commitment that I don't
have. And there's like a bow at the crest of like the point of the roof, and the lights on the there's like 2 windows on the second floor facing the front that have lights in there. It's amazing what this person does, guy, girl, whoever lives there does. So when that time comes around, I'll go over and take a photo.
I was going to say, having the kids have kind of warmed my Grinchy heart. So I've been doing a little bit more every year, kind of put more lights up and stuff like that. So
yeah,
we'll start doing some more.
Have fun with that. All right. Let's move on from the Halloween stuff here. What else do we have to talk about? Well, politics.
Always politics.
Going to touch on it just slightly. We're in the home stretch.
Are we though?
Yeah, we are. We're Tuesday.
We're in the home stretch to vote. We're never going to get out of this anymore. The world is too messed up anymore.
No, it's not the world. It's this country. The rest of the world doesn't give too big a deal. Doesn't really care much about what's going on. They just thinking like we're all fucking insane. But yeah. So we got the election coming up. The what's the date for election day? It's Tuesday, November what?
5th. Remember 5th of November. I'm getting that artwork done. We'll have it by next show.
Vote for whoever you want to. To me, these are both losers.
Yes, that's exactly it. So election day is coming. We have talked in the past that we get solicitations on the phone by the phone. I think a lot of people get it, whether you're registered to a party or not. I brought this one up a few weeks ago saying, despite the many times they were texting me, you still haven't pledged to vote for Kamala. Sign this pledge right here.
Pledge, Eric. Be one of us.
Well, I reported for junk, like the option gave you right there below. I got a new one. I got a new one about 2 weeks ago. We haven't been on, so I hadn't had a chance to show you. Check out the new one I got. Trending, Catholic vote launched a nationwide ad revealing Kamala, Kamala, funded child gender mutilation. Donate for a $250,000 match. It says reply to stop, which is you don't do that because then they know that you're interacting and they'll keep writing to you.
Correct.
So again, you report that for junk. But apparently, do you know she's funding child gender mutilation? Now, here's the other thing. It says donate for a $250,000 match. Are we donating to support the funding for child gender mutilation?
Wait, what side of the aisle am I on this one?
Yeah, is it for it or against it? Because I don't know. It's like donate here. It's like, wait, am I donating to help mutilate? Like, I don't know what's going on here. But I think it's just safe to say I'm going to report for junk. And
okay.
That's not going to happen.
So in the spirit of what you have, this is the one I got the other day and I kept it. I forgot to put it in.
Whoa, hold on. Tom from Alberta. That's Canada, folks.
Yeah.
Jordan already voted. He got a sticker. Did you already vote?
I did already vote. I got my sticker. I have checked the ballot. It has been accepted. So I am
Did you go in
citizen of this
person?
world.
Did you mail? What did you do?
So I got the mail-in ballot. Arizona usually gets the mail-in ballots a little early. You can early vote if you'd like. You can send them in. However, I never trust the mail. So I know there is a voting mail ballot drop-off not far from my house. So I did the mail-in ballot, signed it, did all my stuff, and then I stuck it in the actual collection box. So I didn't put it in the mail. There's no mail tampering, nothing weird. So I did vote. I did get my sticker.
Now, as far as I knew, the last we talked, New Jersey doesn't have the early voting, at least as far as I was aware of. I got a notice a couple days ago saying that you can vote early. So I guess it's voting early means a week before the election here. So it says, based on the county that you're in, click this link and you can find what areas you can go and vote. So in my area, there's nowhere to go vote early. I got to drive a bit within my county to go to an area where I can go and vote early. So I might go do that this week. Just so,
get it out of the way.
Not that I'm going to forget, but usually I always go day of.
I don't know why. Like I keep thinking it's next week. It's not. It's a week from Tuesday. I'm just like, my weeks are.
So I might just drive over this week and go and get it done and be done with it.
Do you want to see the text that I got before we move forward?
Please.
This one.
Yes. Restraining. It's Dorothy from Golden Girls.
It's Dorothy from Golden Girls.
Face. It says, resting matriarch face when I find out you're not registered to vote.
Now it's hilarious, but here's the kicker. Obviously very pale faced. I am not Native American. Whatever. The message says, Auntie won't be mad if you're not voting, just disappointed. Will you be exercising the power of the Native American vote this November, Jordan?
You should say yes.
No, I'm not.
Just say yes, I am to the fullest extent of my governing abilities.
Why am I getting this text?
Because if you vote using, put it back up. I want to quote it directly. If you're voting using the power of your Native American vote, then you can try to parlay that into some of that casino ownership and Indian reservation cigarette franchises that they got going on. You could clean up quite nicely.
That's crazy talk. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, it's my brother out front. That's crazy talk.
Yes.
Yeah, I got this and I'm like, I'm not Native American. Why am I on this list? Right. It didn't make sense and I kept it. I just wanted to
now, before you went to vote, you had shared this with me. I get the text, I get the crazy stuff, but none of it seems to be like a voter intimidation. It's more of like fear-based messaging. Like you should vote because she's funding child gender mutilation. But if you send us money, we'll match it. For what? You still haven't told me what we're matching it for. And despite their numerous times to reach out to me, I have not voted to pledge my vote to a certain candidate. That's about the worst that I get, the most ridiculous stuff I get. You got handwritten voter intimidation.
Do you want to hear a quick update to this?
No, tell me it after we show this, because why put the cart before the horse?
Oh, I was going to give
that phrase. Put it on a shirt. Okay, so he received 2 handwritten postcards to your address, right?
handwritten to my address. Now I've scrubbed all my details, so there's no trying to stalk me, Tom.
Right. It wasn't like they were written and put into his mailbox. They were sent through the postage system.
They were mailed to me.
Stamp on there for date and shipping and all that stuff. This is the first one. Now on the front of it, it says it looks like a travel postcard. Arizona votes Tuesday, November 5th. And then it says at the bottom, it says visit votingmattersaz.org for voting info. Now this means it's being supplied by this organization.
Right.
Okay. On the back side, you have here on the right-hand side of the screen, has the official postage stamp marking that it went through the postal service, date and when it was sent. So it's all official right there. Handwritten. Oh, let me turn the bottom banner off because people aren't going to be able to see the name. It says, thank you for being a voter. You can tell it's a female's handwriting because a lot of rounded letters and it's legible. Thank you for being a voter! ! Who you vote for is private, but whether you vote is public record. Period. Please, underscored sternly, vote in the Tuesday, November 5th election. And I think that says Sue.
Probably. I think it's Sue. Yeah.
Right. That seems like intimidation. We're not telling you who to vote for, but we know if you didn't vote.
We know if you did.
We're going to come to your house.
Shake our finger disapprovingly in your direction.
You're going to send hired goons?
Hired goons.
Hired goons.
Hired goons.
So he's laughing it off. He's like, this is ridiculous. Right?
One time is ridiculous. I thought one time that's okay. Someone took their time to do something dumb. I'm going to put it aside, but I didn't mentally. I just think that was stupid.
Right.
Carry on.
Then came the second postcard. Same thing. It says America Votes, whatever, on the front of the card, but the organization's different, a little different. It says votingmatters.org instead of votingmattersaz.org.
Right.
So this must be the parent company of the subdivision of Arizona. So this had the official stamp on here too, and it came from St. Louis, by the way.
Yep.
To tell people in Arizona to get your shit together and vote, or we'll know. This letter says, thank you for being a voter. Who you vote for is private, but
whether you vote is public record. It's same message. I mean, almost word for word, same message. Please vote in the Tuesday, November 5th election. Cheryl with a smiley face. So less intimidating, still annoying.
It's like, if you don't vote, we'll break your legs.
Okay. So update to this story.
Postcard lists where his kids go to school.
Funny. The update is I have a service through the post office where I get notification every day what's getting delivered in my mail. It's been processed. It's going to be in my mailbox. So that way I know if I'm getting any letters that I've been expecting or packages, things like that. There are 2 more postcards handwritten in my mailbox right now. Same messaging. I have 4 now.
This is fantastic.
Now,
take them.
I will get them.
We'll do it for next week.
Yep, I'll get them again. On top of all the text, I had 2 people in my neighborhood the other day canvassing, coming to my house asking if I was voting. They're doing the big push, and it's weird. I need a sign, not so much I'm voting for this person. I need one that just says I voted. Please stop sending me things.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
Oh crap!
It happens. At least the camera didn't go out this time. I'll be right back.
I hope not. But yeah, I've been getting text all over. I've had people at my house, and right now, currently, there is 2 more postcards sitting in my mailbox asking me to vote or else, and it's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on. I've never seen it before. This, however, is still probably my favorite election messaging that's come through, because I'm not Native American, guys. I'm a white male. I'm voting. You all know who I'm voting for. Ralph Nader and everything. So yeah, that's been fun. Let's see what else has come through. Let's see. I did vote, Tom. Thank you. I did get my sticker. I did make it all about myself on my social media and show off that I voted. I want everyone's attention. I need people to know I'm doing my civic duty, and I want people to show me how much they love me by liking that photo and thumbs ups and hearts and all that stuff. I need that. I need that from everybody. Well, let's see what else we got. What's weird though, like I'm trying to think. So we got America Votes, we've got Arizona Votes. I'm trying to see. I'm going to go through my email real quick to see if they show. No, they don't. They have, let's see, past elections. We got choose to vote. And then the other one is another one. Yeah, that's not showing who actually did it. So, but yes, getting the hard push from the election. Speaking of elections, Donald Trump showed up on Joe Rogan. I don't care. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's not going to help anybody. This past week, Donald Trump did go to a McDonald's to show that he could work at McDonald's. I don't care about that either. I know Tommy Lee is out there threatening Republicans that will revolt the second, the second if it doesn't go his way. I don't care about that. See, okay, so Jared, could be auto pen and not real writing. If the writing was similar on all these postcards, I can see that. But this is very distinctive signatures, very distinctive handwriting. This is pen to paper. People are actually filling these things out in mass and doing it. I don't know how many volunteers are doing it. I don't know how many Sue has been sending out to everybody. I've never seen this level of push election wise in my life. Like I've gotten the texts, I've seen, all the ads and, you get all the signs out in the, the side of the road. I've never been sent postcards telling me that, we're not going to care about who you vote, that you just should vote and we know about it. And it just, it feels very, very much like a threat. I know that we're getting the hard push from outside agencies trying to kind of skew the votes and stuff like that. There was this Pennsylvania ballot box video that was circulating for a little while where someone was ripping up Donald Trump votes and trying to rile everybody up. That has been debunked as a hoax. I guess Russia put that out. But yeah. So hi, Eric.
Oh, the guy that was ripping up the
Yeah, I was kind of going through some of the more election-y things that we weren't really going to get into, so let's not get into it. But right. Yeah, I mean, people just do the hard push.
I'm not doing it on my end.
Let's see. There we go.
Weird. Okay. There it is. I got something for you to wrap up this political stuff so we can move on to more fun things.
Ooh, fun things.
I have noticed the national news, and you could not the cable channels, although CNN is doing this a lot more lately, but I think they just going through an identity crisis the last several years. National news, network television news, is not censoring Trump stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I've talked to other people to get their thoughts on it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people who obviously don't like Trump are saying it's to show it's to show people who he really is. They've run out of ways to try to drill this into people. It's like, we just got to show you who he is and what he does. They're not censoring his clips anymore. Like on NBC, they're not. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about that. I'm like, okay, if this was a decade ago, this would have some sort of impact. But because social media is so ingrained and superseding a lot of other media, that people will go to a podcast or go online for social media for the stuff uncensored already. So everyone's desensitized to it. Now you might be shocked at if a person does something, you're like, I can't believe that person said this, or I can't believe that person did it. But the fact that they're saying things isn't shocking to people anymore. Except maybe the boomer audience who still watches network news and reads the newspapers and all that stuff to get their information instead of going online and researching different sides or finding out, was this is this a slandered piece? Is it a slanted piece, or is this a propaganda thing, or, doing your own research for this stuff. So I have a clip here. I want to show you that an example of what I was talking about here. This is from NBC Nightly News, which airs 6:30 on the East Coast. And then I don't know if it runs the same live throughout the nation, like if it's 3:30 on the West Coast when this airs, or if it replays or whatever they do. But as it was airing here in on the East Coast, I went and pulled a clip here. Check this out.
Trump's raw language included a new and profane attack on Harris Saturday.
You're a shit vice president. The worst. You're the worst vice president. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here.
Oh, he did the thing.
He did the thing.
The fired thing.
But the fired thing's not even anything of a concern. I'm watching this on the network news. I go, look, we're the last end of a generation that it was used to watching the news and reading papers and all of that other stuff. So it does come up. You're like, I'm not like offended. I was a little shocked. I'm like, really? They're the last bastion that's still regulated by like FCC stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're just lifting it. Now they can do it legally. I was looking it up because they're protected for that particular segment. Like the network can't get sued because it was their news that was airing it. So they got journalistic protection, First Amendment, all of that stuff. But it was just, usually they self-censor because of, I don't know, morality or discretion or whatever the reason is. And I was thinking about it, and I looked at them like, okay, they're legally covered, but why now are they deciding to do it? Because they run out of ways to get their point across. People just aren't budging. That either you hate him or you don't, but they can't convince the people that like him that he's bad or terrible or whatever they think he is. So this is what they're doing now. And I'm thinking about it. I go, well, yeah, for our parents, or if we have any grandparents left in, at this point, oh my God, they played this on network television. I'm like, wow, they played it on network television. I was a little surprised, but younger people will be like, they're not watching network television. They would have saw that clip uncensored on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, anywhere, anyway.
Right.
So it's no big deal. So that's where it's regressed, I guess, as far as network television goes, network news goes. It's not shocking by what he said, depending on how you view the guy. Just that this was the last staple of censoring and everything. But then I was thinking back on it. For years, CBS and NBC do that little fluff warning where they said, we do warn you, the next scenes you're about to see might be graphic or are disturbing. That's the term. Right. And then they were showing footage of when those pagers were blowing up in Palestine and people were dying from there. They show missiles hitting over in the Middle East. They show people, aftermath of school shootings. So they do all of that stuff. I go, well, they're showing that shit, and that stuff is kind of worse than showing somebody saying the F word, the S word, whatever. And it was just amazing where everything has evolved to, or devolved, depending how you look at it. That's where we are now. The news allows cursing. CNN, I had mentioned earlier, has been letting it go for a while. Now, they're not bound to any kind of governing rules by the FCC here in the United States. So they can do what they want. They just self-police. They just don't do it because they're the news. Well, it's been going through a lot of times, especially the roundtables after debates and town halls and rallies and things. There was a clip of Anderson Cooper talking with Charlemagne the God, who's a radio host here at iHeart. He does the Breakfast Club, syndicated around the country, but out of Power 105 here in New York. And he was talking to Charlemagne, and they're talking about Trump. And Charlemagne was going on about something. And he goes, and you guys don't even pay. You guys don't even care or pay attention. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact quote about what he's saying, and he's doing whatever. And then Anderson Cooper goes, hold on, that's bullshit. Regular conversation, it's normal. Wouldn't have batted an eye to it if I was watching a podcast stream, whatever.
Right.
But because it's on that platform, he goes, wait a minute, that's bullshit. And he said it casually as in conversation.
Yeah, it's like,
and then Charlemagne threw it back and he goes, no. And he goes, what is bullshit? It's blah, blah, blah. And then, so back and forth. And I'm like, well, they're not subjugated to these rules, but they also don't play like that. And now they are. So much has changed.
Now, was Anderson Cooper on the Breakfast Club talking to Charlemagne, or was Charlemagne on like
Charlemagne
Anderson
was
Cooper's
on CNN.
Show? Okay, so I guess that would be. I mean, I just think everyone's just kind of fed up, and they're like, well, if a presidential candidate can speak like this and no one cares, why do we have to hold back?
Right. Let me see if
people just don't give a fuck anymore.
See if I can bring this up here and show you. Apologies. I thought I had the clip before, but I didn't. Here it is.
I don't know. Like people, they're putting it up there trying to say, well, this is going to hurt Trump or this is going to show him. It's not going to hurt him. No one doesn't know what he's like.
Right.
He's shown who he is. Like, we're not showing you the seedy underbelly of, like, I'd be more surprised if like they had a clip of Barack Obama just saying the N-word to everybody and just going crazy. Like, that's more shocking than Trump saying, she was a shit vice president. He's been saying that since day one.
Right.
It is not news. It's not shocking to me. It's more, like you said, shocking that he did it on the, they showed it on the news. That's the shocking part.
Yeah. It's only noticeable to people older than us that this is where they get their information from.
Right.
And to
50 to 60-year-olds.
People to around our age that grew up with our parents watching this stuff here. So we know what it is, but this is not where we go and get all our information anymore.
Mm-mm.
So that's what happens here. All right. Thank God. In a lot of ways, YouTube has that transcription thing now. So you can
find out where you need to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Take a listen.
It's not coming through.
You're not getting it?
No, it's not coming through.
Okay, hold on. Why would it work?
Why would it?
Why
this
would
is
it
a
work?
$1 million podcast. You would think we'd have our shit together.
I know. We just had Trump on, 20 million views.
We got that Travis Kelce money.
Yeah, here we go.
Every night.
There we go.
I think y'all have enough conversations about it. I feel like I heard more on this network about is Kamala Harris black than I do about, Donald Trump being a fascist.
Well,
am I wrong, Angela?
Honestly, that's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh, I like that.
That's no,
Oh.
I'm not. Look, I'm a huge fan of yours. Okay, but to say that we're sitting around discussing is Kamala Harris black, like
I've seen that. I've seen those
that's
roundtable discussions a lot. Now that's
true.
bullshit, Anderson. For you to say that y'all don't have those conversations.
Yeah, so there you go.
That is kind of weird. Like, this is a news segment. This wasn't like a View type show where it's just a roundtable of people being casual. I mean, he's literally interviewing Charlemagne the God and like just says it so casually, which it shouldn't bother. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it's weird.
Foxy in the chat saying years in the past, presidential candidate cursing like this would have been big news. Right. Yeah. But since 2016, it has changed. So that's almost a decade ago now.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to
that's so
feel
weird.
old and time's flying, that was the election campaign was 2015. So we're almost a full decade from when the 2016 elections campaign run started. Since then, everything's changed. Whether you like him or not, Trump changed everything on how it's perceived, how it's handled. Everything is out the window from the days of when you go back and look at archived footage of like Nixon, Kennedy, or Reagan Dukakis, or
even
Bush,
just
Clinton, Bush, Al Gore.
Mitt Romney, Obama was still cordial. Like they were, thanking, congratulate each other on.
Be above this. You're the president. You're supposed to show a certain level of decorum.
Yeah,
decorum, right? Not decorations, but decorum.
No, it's decorum.
Yeah. Look at the White House. Yes,
it's a Chip and Joanna Gaines presidential election debate.
Exactly that. So yeah, you're supposed to hold yourself to a certain amount of standards. Now it's. Look, Trump's like, I don't give a fuck. He's gloves off. He's doing what he's doing. But now, this campaign, since she took over, it's been, whether you like her or not, it doesn't matter. But the facts are, a lot of people perceive her as not answering things. and their talking points are all mentioning him. Now, if they were not mentioning him, it's like the Simpsons episode, the Treehouse of Horror episode with the advertisements that came to life. Just don't look, just don't look. They lose all their power because you're not paying attention to them. You're not talking about them. They were starting off that way. And then since that debate, they leaned hard into every point they have to make has to involve him. Now, he mentions her, but then he goes off on his whole grandiose thing, talking about his stuff, what he wants to do, whatever. They're not doing that as much. So their whole thing, perception seems to be like, it's like all you can do is talk about him. And this is where we're at now. Everything's just out the window. Anything goes. And there's nothing that's surprising anymore, or at least should be surprising. Imagine the next election that comes around. All right. Say he wins. He's only there for 4 more years. He can't do anything. Then it's new. It's 2 new candidates, right? If she wins, next election technically could be her, unless they kick her out too for some reason. And it's her and a new candidate, whatever it is. Going backwards, I don't know if people are going to care. If it, they're saying like we got to cool the temperature of the whole election thing. I agree. But if you try to go back to the way stuff was done, we've moved too far. You can't go back past that line, back behind the line, excuse me, to where things were again. Whether you like it or not, this is the progression that we had. This is the way it's evolved. I can't wait to see what 4 years from now, how this all comes out. But for now, this is what we're dealing with. The news is cursing. There's profanity everywhere. And it's just like, oh, well, it happens. It's going to eventually turn into like when you watch TV in Europe and you're like, hey, there's a chick with her tits out selling orange juice. Just because that's just how they do it at night. Although I would rather see that than all this campaign stuff. If we could just see nude advertisements. Look, what's the thing that not Blue Chew, the other one that's always on Instagram now? Him or her?
Well, hims is the guy stuff, but it's not just like ED stuff. It's like grow your hair back, get your testosterone back, right? Improve your batting swing. I mean, they got all kinds of
Hims. Hims is the Blue Chew of the moment right now. If they put out Hims ads on social media where they're just like you see the girl with her tits out saying, "Oh, the sex was great," I'd rather see that than this election stuff anymore. I'm kind of done. And
that's when you say that we're almost done. No, we're not. Like that's the problem, is that we are not going to be done with this for a long time. And I'm trying to put it out of my head and just be like, we're in the home stretch, but we're not, and it's going to get litigated. Not, like I said, not so much in the courts. I think we're going to just the court of public opinion, and it's just this will never go away. And it's because like you said, he has changed that landscape so much. We're still listening. We're still hearing about the 2020 election. We're 4 years out. Let it go. If you won the election, then why are you running? You can't. So I'm over it. Let's talk about something stupid. I don't care. I don't want to do this anymore.
Let's talk about something, since we're talking sexy stuff. Let's talk about sexy stuff.
Yeah, let's do.
Last time we were with you, I found a commercial.
Yes, you did.
Commercial for a company called Overnight Oats. And Overnight Oats is a company that sells you essentially dehydrated. It's like the Quaker Oats pouches, but they're selling them to you with a price markup and different flavors, and probably better tasting as well. It's a concoction. You mix it all together. You put it in a container. It sits overnight in your refrigerator and forms breakfast for you. So in the morning, you can take it. You can eat it on the go.
Coagulated.
So in the ad, it's this lady in like the back room of a warehouse type setting, and all the flavors. Picture, if you know anything about retail, the back room of like a Target, a Home Depot. Actually, no, don't even that. Home Depot has those shelves out on their floor. Like Home Depot, yeah. It's the metal grating with the orange bars and everything, right? So has all their product there, and she's talking about, we're going to read one of the letters from a customer that comes in, and she doesn't know, she wants to try it, but she doesn't know what to get. So we're going to pick for her. And then this lady's going around off the shelves, taking different products that they have, explaining the flavor, what have you. Now the commercial goes like, where's the full commercial? Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. Okay. This is the full commercial.
You need this in your box.
Nope, that's the drop. I labeled it wrong. Here it is.
No, you didn't. That's perfect.
Right.
Cream pie, trust me, you need this in your box.
No, that's
the less shortened, but still shortened.
Wait a minute. Where did it go? Oh, man. All that set up and I don't even have the sexy ad anymore?
That's a sentence.
Did I delete it? No, I couldn't have deleted it. Excuse me a second. I'm trying to find the ad so I can load it into the system here.
This is riveting.
All right. Well, fuck it. All right. We don't have the commercial. I don't know what happened to it. It was here. But anyway, she's talking about, she's just going picking up the flavors. She said our first.
It's going to bother you.
Look at this in your box.
Yeah. Here it is.
Cream pie, trust me, you need this in your box.
And then she started talking about like chocolate chip mint or something right after.
Right.
So cream pie, trust me, you need this in the box, right? So in that vein of commercials, I saw another commercial and I went to find the commercial online. I couldn't find it on YouTube, but I found it through some kind of like advertising site. And by advertising, I mean, it's something that advertising industry uses, right? So it's not like a regular public commercial site. So it's got a watermark and stuff on there. But I guess there's a company called Roco, R-O-C-O.
Okay.
And they make cheaper pharmaceuticals, cheaper medicine. Airs on like cable channels and stations that run like Impractical Jokers as their only programming. So this is the ads that are purchased to run during these shows. So Roco has a thing. I guess you compare it to Ozempic. You see the Ozempic commercials on cable news. It's GLP-1, I guess is the medical name, the generic name. I'm not sure, but it's Roco's GLP-1, and it's a pen that you stab into your side for fat people to lose weight. All right. Check this out and tell me what you think.
About GLP-1s through Ro is that my cravings have completely disappeared. I'm not quite sure how something that's just a little tiny prick can be so powerful in so many different ways.
Meet the weepy shopper.
Right?
These are perfect. This needs to be a continuing bit.
If I find them, yeah, but
that play it again.
I'm not quite sure how something that's just a little tiny prick can be so powerful in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, ladies? Wow.
Send me. I want to see your boobs. I want to see your boobs. Send me.
God. These are perfect. Yeah. I see. I didn't know. Like you had told me about this, but you didn't show me, and I had no idea the content. This is fantastic.
I'm not quite sure how something that's just a little tiny prick can be so powerful in so many different ways.
It's amazing.
Oh God, I'm a fucking adolescent.
So thanks to the fine people at Roco.
Jump on as an advertiser. This is great.
I'm not quite sure how something that's just a little tiny prick can be so powerful in so many different ways.
I'm gonna pop off to my dick.
Wait, what? What ad was that?
What?
Oh yeah, here's another.
I forgot about those.
This might be like this is for hymns. This is part
You're
of
right.
It's my dick in.
Why is this shorting out? I don't understand why this keeps shorting out.
I gonna put my dick in. Do you like my erection selection? With my dick.
I still need to watch that.
Oh yeah, I'm fixing to fuck you.
So,
I love this. I'm 12 years old right now.
You need this in your box.
You really do. There we go. Fantastic.
It's good stuff.
Continuing on with the sexy thing. I think this is bullshit, but this was trending all over the place here. Wait, what is Rob saying? Today I learned Jordan is a subpar fake guitar player.
Yeah, I was just playing some more Rock Band.
Rob, I was out doing some. Rob texted me that you were live on Twitch and that we need.
So he's separately texting you. You got to see this shit.
Yeah, he's like,
Rob, you're an asshole.
He says, Rob is live on Twitch. Sorry, Jordan is live on Twitch. So I said, nice, because I was out.
You got to see this shit. Whatever.
But Rob, when you're not too busy playing with your younglings,
right?
Your space mining game at night, there's times he pops on, and I'm just sitting there watching him poorly clunking through Evanescence or something, along those lines.
Sometimes you got to wake me up. Wake me up inside.
Wake me up.
At least it's the guitar part. I'm not sitting there like, doing karaoke in my living room at 2 a.m.
Not with that attitude.
Well,
yeah,
I am awake. Might as well. Wesley comes down the stairs, rubbing his eyes. What the hell's going on down here?
Right.
Dressed as Rob Halford.
This was something that was going around social media. People were making a big deal about this. I think it's fake. It has to be fake, but I'm bringing it to the show for you to check out. Now, we're in a time too where there's so many people that are social media famous that you hear about these influencers and streamers and stuff and like, oh, they're super famous. They're there, but nobody knows who they are yet. They've got like 1 million followers and they're making millions of dollars for some reason. And a lot of them are total shitheads. We've had too much time go past, but we got to do a thing looking into Jack Doherty. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he's that asshole that the earliest clips I ever saw of him is he would walk around like the mall and be like, I'm going to get in your face. But he's walking around with
a
like
bodyguard and then pretending he was
dudes.
underage so that he couldn't get hit. Right. Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
I hate that guy.
Well, he had a really expensive kit car, if you get like a sports car kind of thing.
It wasn't a kit car. It was like a very expensive, like high-end vehicle.
It was a piece of shit.
But he just wrapped it in stupid logos and shit.
Yeah, he's like, well, I hydroplaned on the highway. Almost killed his friend in the front seat with him. But the video that's out there is he was live streaming on his phone.
I think on Kick.
Kick, that's the platform. He was live on Kick, streaming everything. Hydroplane slammed into the side concrete wall of a highway that was like above other things. Like, had he broken through that cement wall, that car would have landed wherever. I don't know if it was over.
It was
water.
a McLaren.
Okay. If it was over water, if it was over, buildings or a neighborhood or whatever it was. So this little shit ruins his car, and then he comes out. He's immediately streaming, hands the phone to a friend who's concussed and bleeding out the side of his head and his ear. And he's telling the whole thing there, and he's acting like all upset, and, call 911 or the insurance isn't going to pay for this. Like, he's just one of the worst fucking people. But those kind of people are the ones that get famous, that are doing all these things, but you watch them fall apart as fast and as hot as they run to get famous and, money. They don't know where to pull it back and they fuck up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
There was another video of a guy who I guess, I had his name and I'm forgetting it now, but he took a homeless woman to dinner to a fancy steakhouse live on Kick. He streamed the whole thing, took her, I guess, got her cleaned up a little bit, what have you, took her to dinner. And then the bill comes and he said something like, I forgot my, I don't have cash on me. Let me go to the ATM. I guess there's an ATM right next to the steakhouse or something, or at the front of the steakhouse. I don't know.
Right.
Gets up while he's live streaming. She's still sitting there at the table, the check there. He walks out the front door, gets into an Uber that he had already requested. So it was sitting there waiting for him. Got in there and he said something like, I need to go to an ATM. And the guy was taking him off somewhere and he left her there with the bill.
Like, who finds this content good? Like, why is this a thing? Like, no one cares. Jack Doherty needs to get punched in the face. Assholes like this don't need to get to have a platform. There's no reason for it. It's not fun.
This is kind of where, not so much Logan, but Jake Paul. That's kind of where he got his start. He was one of these shitheads with a content house and a whole group of people. Remember, he got arrested for potential looting of a mall or something.
Yeah, here in Scottsdale.
Pandemic. Yeah,
it was here.
So, a lot of these shit people do stuff like that. So, in order to get some sort of reach, some sort of attention, people have to be more and more outrageous. All comes back to this video here of this streamer. she does something nowhere to that level, but something a little outrageous, and it was all over the internet. And people were like, I can't believe she did this. Was this a violation? I think she was on Twitch. Is this a violation of their terms of services or what have you? I'm watching the video and I go, this looks fucking fake. But a lot of people were freaking out over this thing here. Take a look at this. I don't know her name. I was trying to find her name. I couldn't find it, but I also didn't put that much effort into finding her name. Take a look at this and tell me if you think this was an accident or if this was completely staged. All right.
I think cats to the vet too. Like, it's stressful for them. Oh my god.
All right, go back.
Okay.
Go back. Because I didn't know where to put my focus, so I wasn't like really looking. So let me
see where her water bottle is.
Yeah, I see. I know that's where she's freaking out.
Like, it's stressful for them. Oh my god.
It's fake. There's no way anyone that has anything of that nature has it A, at their streaming door, and B, would forget that it's there. It's fake.
All right.
There's no way she
for those listening on the radio feed and what have you. So it's a typical female streamer. Lots of stuffed animals, purple lights, neon sign with her I guess her streamer handle, gamer handle. Now people can say, you just said you couldn't figure out who she was. Her name's right there. Yeah, that's that name. I was trying to find like her real name or something. I didn't look that hard for her real name. She opens up the top drawer of her desk to get what we later see in the other drawer, her Xbox controller, it looks like, right?
Whatever.
So she's talking with the chat. She pulls open the top drawer here. I'll try to pause it. Go back a tiny bit. She pulls open the top drawer, and it's one of those big suction cup dildos that like women stick to the wall or like the glass of a shower for their OnlyFans stuff.
Go get yours, Eric. That way you have an example.
It's at the cleaners right now. Pull off one of the many off your shelf there that are under stormtrooper helmets.
Yeah.
I know that's where you hide them.
Those are for my work purposes.
Jared right here. Sorry, I'll get to you in a second, Pizza King. Jared right here says it was to entice the simps.
Oh, 100%.
It absolutely did. But online, usually when something like this goes online, even if it was legitimate, there's people breaking down why they think it's fake and it's bullshit, whatever. I was seeing very few people saying that it was fake, and other people calling her a dumb whore, and like worse than that. Yeah. And this was for
name calling,
whatever. But I'm like, it's obvious this was fake, right? This wasn't a real
it's
accident.
fake. Yeah, no, there's fucking Foxy. I
also don't like these microphones that some of these people are using, like these old 1940s style microphones.
Yeah,
it looks essentially like the old Doctor Who sonic screwdriver kind of thing. It's just weird looking.
Looks like you should have a suction cup at the end of it.
It should. Well, who knows where that goes? But yeah, this is obviously fake, right?
It's fake. There's no chance that it's in her streaming desk that she streams with every probably day, that it just happens to be in there. Yeah, exactly.
Pal Foxy. Northern Long Island Dildo Cleaners Incorporated. 2 Wongs make it white. I see what you did. Nice callback.
That's a nice callback.
Yeah, it's just so dumb.
There's no way.
The things that drive people crazy online with the internet here. What isn't fake is this.
I'm not quite sure how something that's just a little tiny prick can be so powerful in so many different ways.
Cream pie, trust me, you need this in your box.
Those are all.
I love it because those weren't inherently supposed to be R-rated-ish,
right?
And they're just so fun. Now I'm gonna have to like.
You're gonna be getting all the bean cheese, homie. You're gonna be getting all the bean cheese.
I still need to find that guy. He's in Phoenix.
Before we go, let's end segment 1 here with When We Were Young.
Oh yeah, that was
this
past weekend.
Jordan was supposed to go to the When We Were Young concert festival extravaganza. Was it in Vegas again?
It was in Vegas. Yeah, same place. Their fairgrounds right next to like Circus.
Right. So Jordan went last year.
I did.
Quite a stellar lineup. How many days is it? 2, 3?
It's 2. So, well, the past years they did 2 days, but it's same lineup every day. So you can go one day or you can go another day. You're not missing anything unless like a random person comes on stage that wasn't supposed to be there. Ooh, it's special. But it's the same lineup on Saturday. It's the same lineup on Sunday. Last year they sold so many tickets the first 2 days that they did a second weekend. But essentially, it's just the same lineup every day. So you can pick one or the other.
Okay. Well, happened again this weekend. 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a photo.
Saturday, Sunday.
Here's a photo of Jordan at last year's.
There I am.
There you are, watching Goldfinger. There's John Feldman, front and center, belting out.
Actually, the funny thing about that is
hit.
I was in that crowd for John, but I was to his right. I was over there, but I did see that set. In fact, I actually have footage of that.
Okay. Well, anyway,
got to support them. I love Goldfinger.
Yeah, who doesn't? They are fantastic. He's he might have dialed it back a little bit, but he was heading that way for a while.
Oh yeah, no,
he was super militant veganism.
Oh, I think a lot of his later songs were very anti-meat.
Right. Oh, here's another photo of Jordan at when we were young from last year. Take a look at that. He is a man who's ready for some concert going, my friend.
Damn right. Got my water. I got my water pack. I was ready. I was hydrated and ready to party.
Right.
And then I spent a lot of time sitting down because my feet hurt.
remember that 80s toy and cartoon Centurions?
Yeah.
Where they would go power extreme. And then like the elements of their suit would come from space, from out of nowhere, and change it. Like there was the air guy, the land guy, the sea guy.
Yeah, I remember.
You look like this was a simple mission. So
like
you
the
only
scuba guy.
You only needed the very basics of the aquatic equipment needed. So you went power extreme, and they just put the water tank on you with a little. And you were just snorkeling. No deep sea explorations. You were just snorkeling.
It's funny. One of the stories I have from when we were young last year, and I'm not going to, like name names, but a couple of us, had a few friends
this year, but they were definitely there last year.
They were there last year.
Bowling for Super.
They partook of a few of the recreational drugs and were a little high. Right. And at one point, I look at said person and I put my water pack thing in my mouth as if it was like a scuba, a respirator. Right. And then I just started pretending I was swimming away. And the laughs for about 20 minutes with someone who was taking drugs was hilarious. So yes, I definitely feel like I was that little scuba diver guy.
That sounds amazing.
It's not. Yeah. I gotta say, like, as much as I was glad to not have to deal with the mess, I was upset not going this year. The show, from what I know, was actually really fun. The lineups were pretty good. There was a lot of controversy behind some of it. I know a band dropped out because they were kind of screwing over, I think it was All-American Redecks. They kind of screwed over the album format that they were going to lean into this year. A lot of the bands said, fuck it, we're not going to do the album format, and just played whatever. Like it was advertised one way and then it just kind of became this thing.
Right.
But yeah, I just, it would have been fun to kind of hang out and see some of the people I really wanted to see. So, and I had people there personally that I really, really wanted to see. And, it sucks that I didn't get to go. So.
Well, yeah, you can thank, you can't thank the person who caused the fact that you can't go because you don't talk to that person anymore, and rightfully so.
Yeah, it runs with Aaron.
Right. So you missed, this was the year not to miss, and you missed it.
And it sucks because, I remember last year I bought you a t-shirt. I got a t-shirt.
I still wear that shirt. But something happened with the shirts this year. Please tell us.
So obviously, with All-American Redecks dropping, they didn't have time to remove them from some of the merchandise. So All-American Redecks, Rejects, excuse me, we're all over the t-shirt.
That's your construction company. All-American Redecks. Go out and we fix your deck and patio.
You just do your decks. But there were a number of bands on these very, very expensive t-shirts that were misspelled in just the weirdest ways.
Right.
So you've got
I got some footage of somebody who brought this to light.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and do the footage.
Okay, let's take a look at here.
Stoked about this merch, but mostly I'm excited that When We Were Young finally recognized the fans on this one. Finally recognized the fans. We are in the crowd. I'm on a shirt, y'all.
We're in the crowd.
Shout out to
What's the band called?
We are the in crowd.
Okay. See, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
the All-Amercian Redecks.
This was the shirt they were selling for like, what, $50?
$40, $50, something like that. Yeah, because I think this shirt's last year. I think I bought the shirts for like $40.
Right.
Yeah. This is the official wait in line merch that they put out. Keep going. There's more.
Oh, your daughter has a band. Look at that.
Yes.
And New and Glory.
It's supposed to be Newfound Glory.
Right. New and Glory. So
I'm
good.
so stoked.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
No, there's more. So I have a list. Armor for Sleep, the band Armor for Sleep, ARMOR for Sleep.
Right.
Was spelt AMOR, Amor for Sleep.
I love
so like love for sleep. I love sleep as well.
Sleep.
Movements, the band Movements was misspelled MOVEVMENTs. So Movements.
Or it's the movie, it's the video file format.
Yeah, right. Now this is the least egregious one. There's a band called LS Dunes. It's one of the guitar player from
Dunes.
The guitar player from Coheed and Cambria's side band's called LS Dunes. L.S. Dunes. They just didn't do the dots. That's the least egregious one. Daisy Grenade was spelled Daisy GRENDAD. Grendade. Daisy Grendade.
At least it wasn't Granada.
Hey, hello Mata. Hello Fada.
Yeah.
Sleeping with Sirens. Sirens is misspelled. I can't believe
this
Cerns? Went through.
Please be Cerns.
No, it's SIRIENS.
Cerns, you idiot.
Sire Ions.
Ooh, he card read good.
Yeah. So, but my favorite one is New and Glory because they saw this and they leaned into it in the best possible way to do this. They made their own shirt.
And that is a very smart move.
It is perfect.
They put it out under their thing. They make all the money from this guffaw. And it becomes a collector's item. They said like, hey, it's a 2-day sale. And then that's it. It's done.
Yep. Limited time only. They did a little test run. New and Glory, When We Were Young 2024. It is a shot from them at When We Were Young. It's perfect. I mean, if you're going to do something, that's the way you do it.
I'm going to look now. Hopefully other bands follow their lead. I want to get the Cerns and I want to get the All-Amercian Redecks.
I want the All-Amercian Redecks.
Although that might now be the show title.
All-Amercian Redecks. Yeah, so I mean, I guess from everyone that I've talked to, I have some real close friends that went. They had a great time. A lot of people did go late in the day, like they didn't like jump in early. They showed up later, like at 2:00.
Right.
Coheed obviously is good. I'm biased. I love
Big
them.
Coheed fans. Fuck Canberra, as we say here.
Canberra can suck a dick.
Right.
But I guess Fall Out Boy did a really good show. They were doing kind of like a Taylor Swift Eras tour type of thing. So they were playing like certain songs from their catalog. So, they would do like 2 or 3 songs from one of their albums and they move on. And then the sets would change and stuff like that. So, I mean, the footage I saw sounded great. It's one of the ones the bands I did want to see that I've actually never seen live before.
Right.
My Chemical Romance. I really haven't heard a lot of good news or bad news from them. Like no one's talking about My Chemical Romance as much. Like it feels like the show ended with Fall Out Boy and that was it.
I think weird. People got tired of Gerard Way.
Maybe.
And I think not like for him being any specific way, but he was just overexposed. Like he did the entire soundtrack for Umbrella Academy.
Right.
He did like 1 million covers of songs that he just keeps.
Yeah, but Umbrella Academy was his project, wasn't it? Like that was his comic book.
Right. But
okay,
doing the work for that. And then every song that's in there, it's not the original song. He just covered every song and put it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. It's just like, oh, you're hearing this song and I go, oh, that's not the 80s song. That's not the 90s song. It's Gerard Way again.
Yeah.
It's like Rivers Cuomo where he puts out that cover album.
I like that cover album.
Yeah, but it sounds exactly like the songs. There's nothing Weezer about those covers.
That's true. But no, I am jealous. I really want to go.
If you put that out there, like Taylor Swift legally had to re-record her songs because of publishing rights and ownership rights.
It was Scooter Braun. I mean, he screwed her over. So
we all know that, but I'm saying we know why Taylor had to put out Taylor's version of everything because of legalities.
Right.
If River was such a dick, or Gerard was just such a dick that he just he perfectly covers. It's an exact replica of all the original songs, and it's just Gerard's version, or the MCR version, or the Weezer version. It's like, what was the point of putting this album out? Oh, we just wanted to record everybody's songs, and we just decided to do their songs, not even in a style that is similar to the original, but has it sounds like My Chem, it sounds like Weezer, it sounds like a band that's covering somebody else's stuff.
Right.
Point for point, note for note, exact copy, except this guy's singing it now and we play the instruments, and we're just putting it out there to take away the revenue from the original songs, even though you got to pay some of that back because you got permission to use the song. I don't know. I didn't think this one hung through, but just to be a dick, I would like to see. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's like the old crooners when they would sings the hits, or it's like Frank Sinatra's Hit Parade, and he's just doing the Hit Parade catalog. They're not his songs, but he just felt like he needed to re-record all of them. All right, we do have to take a break. Oh, I didn't show you this.
I don't want to see it. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
What is it?
I found an amazing dessert.
Oh, is this what you the one you had last night, or
crumb cake, cheesecake, powdered empanadas?
That sounds really good. I mean, they look weird.
Right.
They look like beignets almost.
But look inside. It looks like the Hostess pies of old in the 80s and the 90s when you'd get them at the supermarket or at 7-Eleven, and they were delicious, not terrible like they are now. But they look like the Hostess pies.
Oh, the little hand pies you can buy at Walmart's checkout area.
Right.
Those are good.
But look at that. It's got cheesecake filling mixed with crumb cake filling inside a flaky pastry crust, powdered sugar, styled to look like an empanada.
That sounds so good. You show me that's the wrong time. Before we're going into segment 2, and I'm sitting there, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Or they could be in the Uncrustables. Yeah, that also
do like
works.
a good Uncrustable.
Right. Okay. So we need to take a break. When we come back, we're going into segment 2, as always, where we talk about television, movies, streaming updates. We give you all the information of stuff to watch or what not to watch. We'll be right back.
More, it's Eric Nagel. It's Eric Nagel. Next. It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com.
This is R.L. Stein. You're listening to It's Eric Nagel. Stay scary, everyone.
Segment 2 of the show. Eric Jordan here, going over television, movies, streaming updates, all that stuff that's out that you need to be aware of, what to watch, what to avoid, all of things that fit into that little description right there. And we always start off with things that we're watching. Jordan, what are you watching?
I am almost fully caught up with The Penguin. I think I have one episode that I still need to watch.
I'm still on 3, I think.
Okay.
So
yeah, I think there's 5 out now. I missed the last one. It came out Sunday. I haven't caught up. I want to watch it probably tonight before tomorrow's new episode. I'm finding it very good. It's a fun, good show. It's almost like it's a fun mob show that's centered in the DC Batman universe without it being so overly hyped as a superhero movie. I think it's
low
good.
key that it has nothing to do with Batman other than it's in Gotham.
Hey, remember it was part of this movie. It's Gotham. They're doing it right, which is good. And there's a lot of times I'll sit there and I'll watch it, and I almost completely forget that it's Colin Farrell. He's just completely gone. which is kind of it's interesting. Like it's very interesting.
Well, I had told you I had a theory from stuff that I've noticed that it's Colin Farrell portraying or channeling, if you will, two different characters to make the Penguin.
Okay.
And I pulled the clips for one of the characters. I still haven't gotten to go back and pull the second one. So we're going to wait. I'll do it next week with you.
Let's catch up and then, we'll go over it. So,
right.
The other thing I'm watching is Agatha All Along. Newest episode dropped this past Wednesday.
I wish I could redo that Simpsons clip from Planet of the Apes, the musical. Because I just want to go, whoop. I was wrong. It was Agatha all along.
Sure, we can figure it out.
Finally made a monkey out of me. Go ahead.
But I really like that show. It wraps up next week with 2 episodes, so we're getting in the home stretch of the story that they're telling.
I am also enjoying that particular program.
Aside from them going back to the well with the song on another episode, I actually really enjoy the show. Like I didn't know what to expect. I had high hopes. I really love Catherine Hahn. The idea of this show sounded interesting. I didn't expect it to be as enjoyable as it is.
Right.
This last episode was really good. They did it kind of Tarantino-esque, where they were telling it out of place. You were kind of figuring out what Patti LuPone's character real issue was.
Patti LaBelle's character?
Patti LaBelle. She was making pies for everybody. And it was very interesting to kind of see her progression and what she brought to the table, and it ends in such a good way. And I'm really enjoying it, which is cool. I don't know how they're going to end it. I mean, I feel like they just opened up this door to what could possibly be going on, and now they only have 2 episodes left. So I'm very interested to see what happens with that. You're caught up. It's one of those ones we're both kind of at the same point, which is good.
Yeah, I'm all caught up with Agatha. Other than I was skeptical. I was actually getting pretty mad that when I heard it was going to be some musical stuff, they did a complete disservice to a lot of the audience by the purple carpet, red carpet premiere, where they love this. It's like, this might be the gayest Marvel property yet. And then the other one's like, oh yeah, I don't even watch this thing. Are you going to go back and watch any of the Marvel movies? Or no, I have no interest in learning about the Marvel universe. Oh, great. You're only part of one of their biggest properties.
Right.
And I got a lot of shit for trashing said actress. I know she's a famous Broadway actress. She's beloved. Not knocking that. My problem was when you do promotion at these kind of events, you are still on the clock. You're being paid by said company. Right. That is part of the job. That's not just you showing up to see the fruits of your labor. That is still part of your contractual agreement. You shouldn't be knocking the property that you're working for while on the premiere red carpet to talk to the press about why people should be interested in the property.
Now, do you think because she's like Broadway royalty at this point, she just doesn't have to care and they're going to give her a pass on it? Like, because I haven't heard any backlash on it.
No, I seem to be the only one
especially
screaming
after
about
this new episode.
Right. Where she died. I got all mad because it's just like, you got to sit there and go, have some decorum for the property that's paying you to be there. If you're not going to watch, you could say, plenty of actors said, yeah, I didn't know anything about it coming into the role. But
I read up on it. I did some research.
Gave me comic books. They gave me all these video clips or notes and stuff to learn about the character. Even if that didn't happen, lie about it. Make it up. It makes you look good. It makes you look hireable for other companies. It's like, look how well they handled doing this particular project and how they promoted it. We should get that person for more work. When you go there, oh, I didn't know anything about Marvel before that. Perfectly fine. Legitimate, especially what she does for a living. Broadway forever, and a character actress and stuff, and apparently a great singer too, I guess.
She's really good, yeah.
So that's fine. That's understandable. But when they say, oh, do you think you're going to go back and take a look? You might just say, yeah, I think I'm going to take a look. I'd like to see where some of this goes. Even if it's a lie, at least pretend like you're supposed to be there. Don't just say, oh, I have no idea. I have no idea about this stuff. I'm not going to go look at that stuff. I don't really care. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, not from the fan perspective. I'm looking at it from somebody who works adjacent to their industry.
Yeah.
But you would still handle yourself and conduct yourself in the same way as I'm describing in any form of entertainment. If you're being paid to be there, you lie. Or you talk honestly that you watch these things there. You're there to promote. You're there to do a job. Your job's not done because the project's you're done filming. And that was what pissed me off. And people were telling me to, like, I was overthinking it, or fuck off. She's a legend. She doesn't have to watch any of this shit. I'm like, you're fans of this property or this franchise, and you're giving it a pass. Like, I don't know. That was just me. But anyway,
it definitely got to you more than I think everybody else. I
was pissed when I heard it was going to be more musical. And then the one musical part of the show where to open the Witch's Road, fine.
It was great.
How a lot of this series is based on a song about the Witch's Road is telling a story. It's not musical where they just break into jazz hands and dance number routines or something like that. Or like the Joker blah, 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 that went out there and just had musical numbers because they didn't know how to connect stories or finish portions of the story and make any sense. The song makes sense throughout the series of why it's essentially like an audio map, if you will, a treasure map, that kind of thing. This a cipher, if you will, those kind of things. That one episode where they're back in the 60s and they got to sing a song, and it's like,
they were. Well, it's because every episode's a trial for each particular witch, and that particular witch, she had to get over some past traumas with her mom, who is, I would say, like a Stevie Nicks type of, singer who sang about the Witch's Road. So that's why they brought the more rock version of that song in. What I just realized the other night, and that I brought up to you, is that every episode of that show is lyrics from that song.
Right.
The titles, the episode titles. And it took this many episodes to figure it out. I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
It's just every bit of that song is completely the DNA of that entire series, which it's not a problem for me.
Right.
It's really good. Like I really do.
It weaves the music into it
100%.
As it's supposed to. It's not just breaking into musicals because people love musicals or a certain demographic needs everything to be musical and dance and song and all that shit. It was definitely perceived in the wrong way, or promoted in the wrong way, I'll say.
Yeah.
And then perceived according to that promotion. And then you watch it and you go, oh, it's not really that. It's there, but it makes sense as to why it's there. That being said, it's a fantastic show. I really have grown to enjoy it. You should check it out. Agatha All Along, available on Disney Plus.
Yep.
I watched a horror movie, which I rarely
ever
for
you. Yeah, exactly. That's my genre. Giddles maybe, but not you.
Yeah, and there's a difference between, you can kind of make suggestions to horror things, like you might like this, or you might be able to tolerate this, or whatever. Giddles will give me a whole backstory of the first Terrifier and why it's fantastic, and the production note. And I'm like, I don't care about this clown or any of the shit going on in there. I don't want to know.
I think I've known you well enough now where I can do that. I can say Late Night with the Devil would be something that you would like. I'm not going to have you watch. I'm not going to have you watch The Substance. You know what I mean? Because that is.
Well, to be fair, Giddles also wrote me and said, this is not a movie you should watch. So I was like, thank you. Finally.
Yeah, I think him and I had a side conversation where we were talking about it. We were all worked up about it. And I was like, yeah, Eric's not going to watch it. He goes, oh, no. Don't let Eric watch this one.
Look, it took me a bit to build up the nerve to watch. What was the movie where she had the character growing out of the back of her head? And
Malignant.
Yeah,
I hated that movie. Everyone loved that movie. I thought it was garbage.
I thought it was dumb. And
so
I remember Giddles also telling me too, and he goes, I don't know if you would want to watch this movie, but I think you should, based on the reaction in the theater of when he went to see this movie.
Substance?
No, Hereditary, back in the day.
That's right.
And he was telling me, he's like, there's one scene where it just sucked all the air out of the room and people didn't know how to react and all that stuff. And then I watched that scene and I said, I watched the movie and I said, was this the scene? And he said, yeah. And he goes, and I said, yeah, I can understand why people would, if you were in the theater and you saw that, I would understand that mood quickly changing as to why everyone reacted 100%. That way. And he said, he's like, how did you feel watching that? And I said, I laughed. And It was the same thing as when I watched Titanic. You know, when this happened. I'm laughing my ass off.
I'll laugh every time.
Now, it wasn't because it was hilarious, but it was the gut reaction to something like that. Because the other gut reaction to things is me having a fucking jump scare to myself and then getting mad at me that I did it. I'm sitting there alone watching a movie and I feel aggravated and ashamed, and I wish I could punch myself for having
the problem
that
is
reaction.
certain movies, especially Hereditary, are better done in groups where people react differently and you feel the reaction and you get that visceral, oh, this is happening. Like when you're watching something at home on the television and you're just kind of sitting there, maybe you're not even got the lights off, you're sitting down there, got your lights on, just hanging out. It doesn't have the same feel to it. So that scene that you're talking about, I had the same reaction. I never watched that in the theater. And when I finally watched it, I kind of just chuckled. I'm like, of course they did. You know, of course that happened.
Right.
That's hilarious. I mean, it sucks, but you know what I mean?
It's
shocking.
I understand. It was horrifying. Especially
but
how
also
fast
kind of funny.
How fast it was executed and the angle for it.
Mm-hmm.
But my instinct was to be like, holy shit, and then I laughed at it. So
it loses something.
As much as people want to shame, any good psychiatrist will tell you that a R.L. Stein, who I spoke to, and you'll hear those interviews when you go and check out the New York Comic Con stuff. He said horror and comedy are the same.
100%.
And it's like you get the same reactions to horror that you would to comedy, where you would be freaked out, you'd be freaked out, you would be breathless, shocking, all those kind of things. All those reactions, they mimic each other, but two opposite ends of the spectrum. So that's what happens. I laugh sometimes at horrific stuff because that was my quick go-to. Otherwise, what am I going to be fucking crying and miserable and like I can't live my life?
Well, it's like if someone comes up, the idea of it is like someone comes up and scares you really bad. Your first reaction is yes, fears. You know, you're tense. You don't like that feeling. What do you do after you're done? You laugh it off.
Right.
Like they're just so hand in hand. It's perfect. I love that genre, and that's why I like horror movies. I like being that feeling like dread and scared. Some of them are stupid. Some of them I laugh at. I've seen so many, I'm desensitized to it. Some of them, really do get to me. So,
right.
I mean, to this day, I still can't watch Poltergeist, even though it's tame by today's standards. But the entire first movie, like the stupid skeletons in the pool, I don't like.
That's the scenes that get me. Where
the damn clown.
There's like the hand that comes up, like the skeleton hand or something, right?
Yeah, well, the skeleton heads start popping up first, and then that's
what I said. You see the skeletons, and then the hand comes through from what was supposed to be the pool. They were
carving the pool out. I don't like that damn clown. I
have a problem with the second Poltergeist, by the way, where the pastor is ripping off his face.
Oh, yeah, that scary.
Freaked me out as a kid.
Or
too.
when Craig T. Nelson drinks the tequila with the evil guy made himself a worm. And then it gets into Craig T. Nelson. No, thank you.
Or that time that he's Craig T. Nelson's in the living room having an argument with Dahmer, and he hits him with his hat like he's Gilligan in The Skipper.
Damn it, Dahmer!
Because the team lost the football game.
That whole franchise gets to me. Like I can't watch the third movie. And it's weird.
Well, anyway, I watched Late Night with the Devil.
I'm very happy for you. I liked that movie.
I will admit this was not the way I thought it was going to go.
Right.
And I thought the devil at first, based on the poster and the trailer or the little clips I saw for it, I thought the devil was going to be the host, right? I was going into it before I even saw anything.
Like he was running a show and it's like, oh, yeah, that was the devil.
Something like that, right? Or this was going to be a talk show in hell that was revealed later on. Then as I'm watching the movie, I will say this. The beginning of the movie, unfortunately, I think telegraphs the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
All right. So I was watching this and I went, oh, now I kind of am piecing this together already. And then towards the end, I was like, all right, it went the long way around, but it kind of got to the same area I thought it was going to get. But as we're watching the show or the movie, I started to think it was his announcer the way the announcer was acting,
right,
that he was secretly a demon, the devil, something like that. Spoiler, the devil's not in this movie. It's just the title.
I think the devil is used as more of a generic term for just anything demonic,
right,
possession, things like that.
That drives me a little nuts when you see stuff that's involving the devil.
Do you want some guy dressed in red with horns and a pitchfork?
Yeah, you want John Lovitz to come out all the time. No, but who's the other devil? Tim Curry. What was the one where he's the devil with the horns?
Oh, that was Legend. Yeah, where he had the really
Wasn't it
big
Tim
horns.
Curry?
Yeah, it was Tim Curry.
Yeah, Legend, right? Those are the kind of two versions of the devil I think of.
Those are the only two.
A bit of a, end cap of styles, but yeah, those are what I think of.
Eric's like, I have a very specific devil idea.
Ask me who I think God looks like.
Who do you think? Is it Alanis?
No.
I'm kidding. Who do you think God looks like?
George Burns.
Yeah, damn right.
From Oh God?
What about
all my life?
2?
Anytime I think of God or we got in church with God, all I think of is George Burns.
It's true. That was a good
and
one.
It's the best way to envision him in my life, and I'm never going to change that. I am going to think when my time comes, I'm going to be met with George Burns sitting there with a cigar.
Just big old cigar, big glasses.
Putting his head in the back of my head saying, "Hi, kid. How are you?"
Now, he was the devil in the second one, right?
Yes.
Oh, God, you devil.
He was both, yeah.
Yeah.
He just was wearing a red suit.
Right.
He was wearing the inverted devil suit, which is the red suit with the black shirt and the red tie.
It's a great way to do that because it just shows that, either God or the devil are pretty much the same.
And for George Burns, it shows range.
It does show range. Love it.
Anyway, so Late Night with the Devil. What drives me nuts is that anytime you think of the devil, they don't really ever do anything devil specific unless Catholicism is involved.
Mm-hmm.
Movies, I guess like a really mainstream one, Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, which was the sequel to it. I think there's a third one that I don't remember.
There is.
But anyway, it's all based through the devil and Catholicism kind of tied together. Yes, Judaism is a thing, but Judaism doesn't also believe in hell and the devil. So that's why they're never really linked up too much. And I don't know if the Muslim religion believes in the devil either. But I know it's Catholicism's big thing is the devil and evil and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they do devil related, satanic related, hell related stuff, if Catholicism is not involved, why am I saying Catholicism? Catholicism is not involved. It's always an offshoot of the devil. So like in Marvel, it was, he's not technically the devil, but everyone's pining for Mephisto to show up.
Right.
He's a devil-like character. He's an entity that copied the devil in order to sway human beings and what have you. But when they do devil-related stuff, if Catholicism's not involved, the devil's not involved. It's always an offshoot. It's a demon of some sort. This is a demon who's famously known through religion for whatever. This same thing happened here. Minor spoiler, but fuck it. The movie's been out, 2 years now?
Just a year.
A year, whatever. It's not the devil per se. It's a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Devil-like, but it's not. It's like this is an underling. A powerful underling, but an underling.
Bill.
The devil. Yeah. This is
Late Night with Bill.
Yeah, this is Bill in financing. What was that Cartoon Network show? The Adult Swim show. Remember where it was like hell was an office? You don't remember that?
No, I can't remember the title.
But
I
you know
do
what I'm
remember
talking about, right?
Yes.
It existed, I hope. I hope I didn't dream this. Or was one of my many delusions.
Making stuff up.
Yeah, no, but there was a show where it was like hell was essentially like a corporate office.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the demon in this thing wasn't the devil, but it was another demon, which I don't want to get into it too much details if people are interested to go see it.
It's good.
But the presentation, I'll have to say, was extremely different. It was a little off-putting. It definitely was a concept I never thought they would go for some kind of demon. It was very interesting. Very interesting. And I still think about that ending. And it's been a week since I've seen that thing. I'm still thinking about the ending. I might go back and rewatch the ending again.
Yeah.
For the demon and then the fate of the talk show host. Which is when it gets to that part, that's when I was like, the beginning telegraphed this. I didn't know it was him, but I knew the whole situation where it was going there was because of the beginning of the movie.
I really do like the movie. I ended up buying it. I've got a physical copy of the movie. Like, I enjoyed this movie. There was something about.
Speaking of devils, hello to Hellraiser
69
in the chat. Hello, sir. How are you?
It's very topical. I like.
Check
I
the
like
private
the
chat,
setting,
by the way, when you can.
I like the setting. I like the 70s vibe of the old talk shows, the browns and the orange colors. The tone of it was really, really good.
And you want to know something else too? Did you read the credits at the end? So apparently it was shot in Australia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was shot in an area of Australia that's very controversial because apparently it's like not their what are their natives called? Aborigines?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
In Australia, yeah.
But I don't know if it was the Aborigines or if it was another offshoot of native inhabitants of Australia before the British colonized it.
Right.
But they explained where they shot the movie and said that they recognized that these are the grounds of the original. It's something with a W is the name of the race, the religious group of people, what have you. And I'm reading this paragraph and I'm pausing it. So now I'm researching who these people are and all this stuff.
They sucked you
so
in.
The area, apparently, like a lot of places that get colonized, stolen land, right? It's still a thing. But apparently it's a controversial area that this studio was built on or this place was built on because it's not only like a religious area, it's a burial area. It's also a haunted area or something.
Weird.
Based on the beliefs of these original people that had the land. So they disclaim in the credits, we recognize that this is originally the land of these people and we fully understand and blah, blah, blah. And thank you for your permission for letting us to film here. And then reading up on those people, I'm like, so they shot this horror movie, which by the way, is not, it's a very low key horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
not
hate saying slow burn, but there's a lot of
jump scare movie. It's not a terror movie. It's not a slasher movie. It has some horror elements, but it's just telling a story.
I mean, there is some body horror kind of gross out stuff later with the co-host. There was that one scene, but overall, it is a very kind of build up movie.
Yeah, so
it's really good.
It was it's not usual for horror telling nowadays because it's either jump scare stuff, terror stuff, like the Conjuring style shooting of a horror movie, a slasher film, which would be more like, I guess, Terrifier's thing right now, where the grossness of old horror movies, those kind of things. It was just like, here's a movie that happened to have one or two horror elements pop up into it. And you don't get that often. And I think some people would find it boring, but I encourage you. It's filmed in the time period of when Johnny Carson was really popular, that 70s thing.
Well, they mentioned him like that's.
Because he was the competition.
He was competing against Johnny, so it was kind of cool.
This is a
bring that in.
show that was competing against Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they shot this whole thing in an area that was known to be haunted, sacred, religious, whatever, and acknowledging all this stuff, and like you're seeing the layers of the whole thing. Read the credits at the end, not the.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I didn't look.
Blurbs that are in there. You go, this added more layers to everything. That they shot this kind of a movie on an area that is meant to be like an extremely haunted area because of atrocities that happened to the original landowners of that place. So
that's crazy.
Anyway,
yeah.
Late Night
I didn't know
with
that.
the Devil. It's on Shudder. And
it's actually on Hulu now. It was weird. You mentioned you watched it. I was flipping through Disney Plus, and my Disney Plus is hooked up through my Hulu, so I get all the stuff that's adult on there.
It came from Shudder.
It showed up.
Right? It wasn't a Shudder movie?
It was a Shudder movie that they originally put out in the theaters. It was on Shudder, but now it's available through Hulu. So if you've got Hulu, it's also on there.
There you go. So go and give that a watch and report back next week, and don't lie because we'll know. And then I watched Trump on Joe Rogan for 3 hours, which was interesting.
Know what I watched last night that you and I both love?
What?
I rewatched Stargate. I haven't watched the movie in like forever.
Oh,
and now I kind of want to. Yeah, now I want to watch the show again.
The movie. Here's some fun things with the movie.
I love the movie.
A lot of the action sequences that were reused over and over. Like when they would show the alien ships, that close up of when the turret would open to show the cannon.
Oh yeah,
was used I think 4 or 5 times. It's the same shot every time.
I don't even care. I was so happy to be rewatching it. I just put it on. I'm like, I love
that movie.
Oh,
I
so
have the poster of the original movie signed by James
Spader.
I almost said Cameron for a second.
James Cameron,
Spader.
who has nothing to do with the movie. You're just getting movie posters signed by random people.
No, but wouldn't it be great if you get celebrities signing the wrong properties?
That would be
hilarious. Awesome. It happened to me once. We had, I believe we had on the show, it was Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman at the same time. Right?
Were they in
both
something together?
They might have been. But they were in studio together, and after the interview and stuff, we're in commercial, and I have some stuff to get signed, and Ryan Reynolds signed my copy of Arrested Development.
Nice.
So
just rewatched the entire show. That's funny.
It was either Ryan Reynolds and Will Arnett or Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. I'm thinking it was Jason Bateman, but because I had Arrested Development with me to get signed, because I've had other cast members sign my series of Arrested Development. But yeah, Ryan Reynolds signed that, and then the Deadpool thing I had, I think Jason Bateman also signed that.
I was gonna say, because I think I've seen the picture of you and Reynolds together with your.
I have a couple
Pop.
of them. That's the main one I use. I have to find that photo
of
me with Jason Bateman, me with Ryan Reynolds, and it's either Jason Bateman or Will Arnett. I'm not remembering which, but they both signed properties that they weren't in.
That's so funny. That's
so
good.
I had to make sure when that happened, I had to make sure I got a photo. Just
I was gonna say, because that was probably unintentional, not like the Roger Moore intentional James Bond photo. Like that's an intentional move.
You got mad at me for
Norton's, like he just didn't get the bit.
He didn't say a word during the entire break. Comes back from on air. He's like, "Get you out here." I go, "What's wrong?" And he got mad that he thought I was that dumb to disrespect Sir Roger Moore.
Oh, so funny.
And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Look at this. Who did?" He's like, He's like, "That's the wrong fuck. That's." He said, "That's the wrong fucking Bond."
That's the wrong James
like
Bond.
that.
Yeah.
He goes, "That's Sean Connery," and you did like, "How dumb are you?" And I said, I should pull the audio, and it was something along those lines. I was like, "Jim, how dumb are you?" I was like, "This is a classic Simpsons bit."
Yeah.
What? I go, it's a very famous Simpson bit where the comic book guy is trying to hawk all this nonsense for expensive prices. And he goes, an exclusive photo of Sean Connery as James Bond as signed by Roger Moore. And the joke was at the time, because now they all do cons and sign everything, whatever. But back then in the early 80s, was Roger Moore late?
I think
70s,
Roger Moore
80s?
was the 70s and 80s. Yeah.
All right. Roger Moore did everything that you as a Hollywood celebrity you weren't supposed to do at the time. He's in like Cannonball Run, right?
I haven't seen Cannonball Run in years.
Yeah, but he's in like those. He was doing those movies. He made every appearance, Love Boat, all of those things,
right?
All that celebrity schlock at the time, and would sign anything and everything. He was going out to do signings, and he's knighted. A famous British actor who played James Bond is going out and do the stuff that people do at Comic-Con now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the gag, because back then people used to joke that Roger Moore will sign anything. So that was the Simpsons gag. So I took the still from the episode, erased the sign, the fake Roger Moore thing from the episode, filled it in nice so it was there, had Roger Moore signed that photo.
It's a good bit.
That still of Sean Connery in real life. And I think I have a photo. I have a photo of me with him, and I have a photo of him signing it.
It's perfect.
And Norton was screaming at me, thinking how dumb I am. And then I had, I think Travis came in too and telling him, no, this was a
like, look, this is a legit thing. Like, what are you doing?
This is a legit thing. So, I got to find the photo of where he's signing it. But look, there's me and him right there.
Roger Moore, so good,
right? So anyway,
such a good bit. I love it.
Roger.
Every time I think about you doing it, I get jealous because like that's how you do the bit. Like that's perfect.
It's one of the best things I own. I will never part with.
You
know what? I should take it out. I have it in a book. All those Simpsons things that got signed by people. I have it in a book. I think I might take that one out and frame that.
That would be a good one.
Put it up there, and then my kid will never understand what that is.
Eventually,
and I'll have to. Anybody comes by, unless you really know The Simpsons, you're not going to know what that is, and I'll have to explain it. That's what I'll do. I'll hang stuff up that makes people talk to me.
There you go.
I don't want to be talked to unless
need
you want to talk
conversation
about things on my
pieces.
wall. Then I'll definitely talk to you and explain.
Right.
all
Here's
that.
the list of subject matter that I'm willing to discuss. One of them is that photo on the wall.
Correct. All right. Moving on. What's out now? What came out last week that we didn't get a chance
Smile
to talk about?
2. That's why I put that on there. Smile 2 came out, getting good reviews, made some money. I mean, it's probably low budget, but Smile 2 did come out. This week is Venom: The Last Dance, which is already losing money hand over fist. Like, no one cares. This movie's terrible.
All right, because I've seen people that were excited. I saw people
I don't know
posting
why.
that saying that this was anybody who doesn't like this movie. This is a fantastic Venom movie done right and what have you. I don't hate the Venom movies like a lot of people do, and rightfully so. I get why they would hate them because Spider-Man's not involved, and the whole origin of Venom, Jesus, the whole
Vita
origin
Venom.
of Vitamita Venom. Oh my God! If we didn't already have All-Amercian Redecks,
All-Amercian
Vitamita
Redecks.
Venomin might
Yeah,
have been the
it's a
show
good one.
title.
Good
I'm gonna
Lucy
write that
joke.
down just in case. The origins of Venom were based on Spider-Man.
Right.
And now he's like, he looks like Spider-Man. He has the symbol sort of like Spider-Man, but he had no contact with Spider-Man
Yeah,
other
not one
than that one little cutscene to join him to the MCU for a brief moment where he sees Peter Parker, MCU Peter Parker, and he goes, it's like, I know that guy, or I forgot what the line is.
It's something that where he just like, I want to go after that guy for some reason.
But it was saying like he knew of Spider-Man, and I know Venom. What do they changed the name in the movie? It's not symbiote, right? It's
a symbiote.
What do they call it in the comics then?
It's a symbiote.
I thought they changed the name of it.
Not that I know.
Well, anyway, the symbiote has a hive mind collective, so it somehow knows everything. It's connected. All of them have the same memories, the same history, all of that stuff. People were saying this is great. It's fantastic, and I was like, okay, good. I like Ed Hardy. It'll be fine. And Tom Hardy. Ed Hardy's the clothing line. I'm tired. Tom Hardy, Eddie Brock. That's where I was confused.
There you go.
I like Tom Hardy. I'm entertained by the Venom series. Like the second one, if it was an R rated, it would be fantastic. But they dropped the ball on that shit.
I think Woody Harrelson was a terrible choice, to be honest with you. Like, that's what really threw me off was Woody Harrelson being Cletus Cassidy. The movie kind of fell apart for me on that one.
You should have got either Carrot Top or
now it's a horror movie.
Remember the guy who played Yahoo Serious?
Yahoo Serious.
Yeah.
What happened to that guy?
I don't know. If he's still alive, prop him up.
He did Young Einstein.
Make him Cassidy.
Which I think I saw in the theater.
I'll wait for it to come on streaming, but I'm actually
it won't last long.
I saw
not making money.
Somebody posted themselves next to the Venom poster at the movie theater, and they said, "I can't wait for December," meaning Kraven, right?
Oh God,
Kraven the Hunter.
Keep forgetting that's coming out.
So I said, "Wow, that's an odd thing to say, but what can I do?"
Whatever.
So anyway, Venom: Last Dance is out. Smile 2 is out. Video on demand, Transformers 1. I highly recommend that.
I still need to watch it.
The Cybertron series that's on Netflix, not related to this, but that one's also very good.
Very, very good.
So go watch those things. Over on FX and Hulu, the final season of What We Do in the Shadows. I haven't even started watching that yet.
I need to catch up. I know Rob
keeps
sent a message
asking
out
me,
the other day. He was like,
getting that it's on, so I got to go and watch all that.
So, yeah.
Over on HBO Max, Trap. What is Trap?
That M. Night Shyamalan movie where Josh Hartnett's in the concert. Yeah, that was a quick turnaround to
never mind. Agatha All Along on Disney Plus, and over on Hulu, Carved. It's a monster killing pumpkin movie.
Yeah, so think of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, like big old tomatoes, but it's a pumpkin. It's killing things. It looks so stupid, but it's Halloween. Go watch.
There you go. All right.
There's not much coming out for now.
Not much coming out. Next week is pretty much all election stuff.
Yeah, that's really not much.
Ramping up to the election, and the week after that is the election. So we have that. The World Series is currently on. If you care about that,
I don't.
Yeah,
I can care less about either teams.
And I think hockey.
Fuck the Yankees. Fuck the Dodgers.
Which I know you don't care about hockey anymore either.
No, except that I think we still have our farm team hockey, our AHL team down in Tucson. So I think I'm going to come down to Tucson a lot more.
You're going to go down and boo them too?
No, I don't boo.
You should.
Don't
All
boo
right.
Earns.
Going through the news because we are running late and we got to get out of here. We're making it up to you people for 2 weeks of not having a show.
Yeah, you take it.
Big news, shocking news to the entertainment world. We are in mourning.
It's the worst.
For the passing of singer Jack Jones, dead at the age of 86.
Too young.
Now you might be asking, who is Jack Jones? Let me show you.
I'm not asking.
Soon we'll be making another run.
Don't worry, we'll edit and post.
I got to figure out why that thing's shorting out.
Yeah.
Jack Jones, singer of The Love Boat. He had other songs too, but none of them were as important as that. Let's just do it again.
Soon we'll be making another run. Welcome
Remember one time playing Sea of Thieves, and the
oh my god,
up to the island that we're at. I'm like, are we gonna have to fight this guy?
Oh yeah, we were ready to fire on him.
He just buzzes past us with his mic on open channel, and he's playing the Love Boat theme.
He's doing the Love Boat theme. I laughed so hard. It was probably the best thing I've ever heard.
I wish I had either recorded it or had his scream name.
Yeah, it was one of those nights that you weren't actually like streaming, so we have no record of it, and it just bums me out because it was really funny. I laughed.
Yeah, so we miss doing that.
Sea of Thieves tonight, jerks.
Indeed.
Oh, there's the kid.
So, rest in power, singer Jack Jones. By the way, I think the influence for Bill Murray's lounge singer character for Saturday
from
Night Live.
SNL.
Yeah, I believe he was the influence or one of them.
Would make sense. It's very, very lounge singer theme. So,
all right, moving on. HBO Max series Lanterns from DC finds it's Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. So they're doing two main lanterns.
Yeah, well, I think they might even do more because I know Nathan Fillion is supposed to be Guy Gardner in the Superman movie that's coming out.
The black guy,
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart. What if Nathan Fillion's Jon Stewart?
That would be great.
All right.
Nathan Fillion is the black.
Because anything goes nowadays. Your gender and race doesn't matter. So why not have Nathan Fillion play Jon Stewart? Or hear me out, a little out of left field. Jon Stewart plays Jon Stewart.
That would be great. Just doing political talk while he's trying to throw things out with a green ring.
All this dialogue from Big Daddy.
It was like in that movie, very little.
I know.
It would be a quick movie.
That's all it is.
All right.
Aaron Pierre joins the DC superhero series as Jon Stewart opposite Friday Night Lights veteran Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan. It's a big year for whatever.
Yeah,
but that's interesting to have two lead. That's like having Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the same thing. That from the jump, it's not like eventually they built up to the crossover where the two are together fighting. Or like the third Spider-Man movie for the MCU, where all the Spider-Men came back and were fighting. That
was a build-up. I think they're really dropping the ball and trying to do this like inclusivity and just make Jon Stewart the focus. Everyone wanted to see the Black Green Lantern. There was cut footage from Zack Snyder's Justice League that had Green Lantern's Jon Stewart in there. So make him the focal point. By adding other lanterns and adding Hal Jordan, what you're doing is saying a black lead can't keep this, can't actually lead this show. You have to have the supporting cast to kind of make the whiteys okay. Or don't
start with Jon Stewart.
Or don't start with fucking Green Lantern.
Who was Hal Jordan, the original one, right?
Hal Jordan was the guy, yeah.
So start with Hal Jordan. And then eventually lead up to Jon Stewart.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still kind of not caring about.
Was Jon
the
Stewart
DC
more
stuff.
popular than Hal Jordan? I don't think so.
Jon Stewart was pretty popular. I think he came in the 70s and 80s to kind of
Right,
get
but
that
was he the
diversity in there.
like,
But
it makes sense where they start the Flash with Barry Allen because
Right.
he was the most popular version of the Flash. Now the what's his name before him? The guy that they mimicked the FTD Florist logo off of.
yeah.
The
Why can't
original
I think of his
Flash.
name?
I can't think of either. He was the original guy. He was popular, but he was nowhere as popular as Barry Allen's Flash became.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to start with the Barry Allen version.
Makes sense. Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't care about the great. I've never been into the DC comics as much. So I can care less what Green Lantern's going to be there. I can care less about the Superman movie that's coming. I don't care. None of it matters to me. Jay Garrick or
Right.
Wally West or Bart Allen. Like there's other characters of the Flash. But yeah, so they're doing that. I'm just not excited. Like the next thing for DC right now is going to be
they had a
that
big
Creature Commandos. Yeah,
they had
Creature
a big
Commandos.
presence as far as displays
Yeah.
at New York Comic Con.
Well, they had I think James Gunn showed up and they were kind of showing off Creature Commandos.
That was at a panel. I'm saying as far
I
as
know.
like fan interaction stuff, they had big displays announcing that it was
That's kind
coming.
of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still not caring about it. I'm more interested in what Marvel's now doing. And I've just, it just interests me more. So.
All right. Let's move on. This is a transition.
Yeah. Fine. We don't even talk about it. Go to the next one.
Okay.
Cares?
We'll move to the next one. Good Omens season 3. We've got news on that. If you're not familiar with it, it's the property created by Neil Gaiman and his partner, who I'm forgetting his name. The guy who co-wrote Good Omens with him.
Oh, Terry. Was it Terry Pratchett?
I think so. So now there's we thought we were going to get the third and final season for Good Omens because last year, I think, or I think it was last year, there were some allegations that came out against Neil Gaiman for alleged sexual assault.
Yeah.
And I don't know where we're at with the case. I have to look up a little more. Not much is being said. He said that he was innocent, had nothing to do with any of this stuff here, but allegations is all it takes nowadays for a project to be sunk and lose your job and what have you. So they have come to an agreement where the show is going to resume without him. He still gets his name on there, credit. He created the thing, so he's get those credits, producer, all of that stuff. He's just not going to be hands-on with this. I don't know if that means he's going to write it and just not be there for filming it. I don't know.
No, because if he's hands off, I mean, he might get some kind of pay because he was involved with the project. I don't think they'll have him write it. I think if you keep him off of writing credits, producer stuff like that, you'll escape a lot of that backlash.
Okay.
So
well, they're continuing on without him, and instead of a full third season, which was like 8 episodes, something
like that,
it's going to be a 90-minute episode, one episode.
That's just like a movie.
Yeah. So that's what they're going to do to wrap up the entire saga. Now, what's interesting is that it was only written. The first season was based off all that was originally written.
Yeah. So the entire second season was just new content.
It was all new stuff. So the third season is going to be all new stuff.
Could just be anything, really.
Yes.
I love Tenet. I mean, that's just that show's good. I like it.
Yeah, Michael Sheen.
Yeah,
he's good too. And John Hamm plays Gabriel.
John Hamm's good. Yeah,
I love John Hamm. I was supposed to meet John Hamm, and I didn't. I kind of regret it, but in a way, I don't.
Oh, I really regret it for you because I wish I were there because I wanted to meet Alan Tudyk. That would have been great too.
I've met him a couple times. I don't think I have a photo with him, but I've met him a couple times.
He's amazing.
I would like to get him because he's also Batman related.
He is.
Remember, I think the last time I talked to him was in San Diego Comic-Con. He had that show that was coming out about an insurance firm that had to insure all the shit in Gotham that was happening from
Vanessa Hudgens was in it. Someone that I know that I still play video games with, Ron Funches.
Right.
He was in it. Yeah, I forget what it was called, but yeah, it was one of those kind of like litigation damage. Like they did all the damage reports and the insurance for all the superheroes that would fuck up the city trying to fight evil.
Right.
It was so good.
So, when I talked to him, it was one show name. And when they put it out on the fall schedule, it was a different show name. And they changed some things. And then it only lasted like 4 episodes and disappeared. Oh, remind me later. I have a project because the channel here is eventually, the YouTube channel is going to go into a subscription mode soon.
Suckers.
The first project I have for it, remind me to tell you about it because it's going to be interesting. You might want to be a part of it. All right, moving on. The Daily Show announced that it's going to air live election night coverage. Is Jon Stewart will be? Why doesn't he just come back? Because
easy to walk. He's only doing what, one day?
He only does Mondays, and anybody only covers what they're doing if he's on Mondays.
It's true.
There's other clips that don't show up anywhere else, and not that they're for the lack of them being entertaining or well written or funny or whatever. But anybody only associates that show with Jon Stewart. So if he's not there, nobody covers anything that's going on that show. But they're going to be live on election night. And that could be misleading because they're not going to stay on the whole thing. That means they're going to be live for like an hour or two. And then that's it. That's all they ever do because it's Comedy Central. They're not really dumping any money into it. Moving on. So Marvel.
Here's the thing. Did you see what the title is?
No.
Real quick. So the special is only going to run for an hour. So it's twice the show's length. The show's official name is The Daily Show Presents a live election night special with Jon Stewart, Indecision 2024, Nothing We Can Do About It Now.
Yeah.
That's the title. It's perfect.
It's a bit wordy, but it
a little long.
It is a little long. Moving over to Marvel news. So a bunch of Marvel news here for you. Blade is no more.
I feel like it's still going to be there, but they're not going to hype it anymore. We're tired of hearing about delay, so they're going to delay it, and then we'll forget about it.
Well, from what we know from the original production or the notes that were coming out with Blade, Jaleel White, who was playing Blade, what's his name?
No, it's Jaleel White.
All right, Jaleel White is supposed to
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
When I do that, he's killing vampires. Dressed as Urkel.
So Mahershala Ali was supposed to be Blade, and he got teased at the end of, I think it was a credit scene for Eternals or something with Black Knight. You just heard his voice, but you didn't see him.
He was off in the periphery.
So he was supposed to be the new Blade. Then there was delays, production problems, test screenings were fucking poor, and then it kind of got leaked that Blade was barely in the movie.
Yeah.
They were having director issues too. Like, wasn't he fighting with the directors?
I think they've been through at least 2.
Right. And then it was revealed that there was it was either Blade's daughter or a female vampire who was being made the lead and all that stuff. And Blade was barely in his own movie.
Right.
And when the test footage went out and everyone just, this is terrible. Nobody liked it. It became nothing but problems. And Mahershala Ali even said, I'm not doing this, or something along those lines. And they wound up grinding this to a dead halt. So it has been removed from the 2025 release date. Instead,
I hope so. They haven't started filming shit.
The November 7th, 2025 release date is now given to a new Predator movie, Predator Badlands.
Yeah, so it takes place in Montana.
So that's now going to be there. We don't know what the hell's going on with Blade.
Nope.
And we don't even know at this point if Mahershala Ali is going to continue to be Blade.
Now, he has come out since that news and has said that he's confident in the direction that it's going. He's gotten an outline of how they're going to rework things, and he's confident that it's still going to be a project that moves forward. They just can't commit to a time frame right now anymore.
Okay, so I
don't know. Maybe that's just him.
Marvel is dealing with too many other things with X-Men stuff and all this other stuff right now, and the scaling back of having 1 million properties come out each year in order to do this. I would think they had to redo, because look, he's been signed for what, 4 years for something Blade. Like his deal either had to have been had to have been up at this point, expired because it's outside of the timeline,
maybe,
or that they never paid him the full extent of the contract because they never got to the point where they had to pay him for the full extent of the contract. So I'm thinking it's going to come out that he had to renegotiate everything.
Yeah.
that he had to get a new deal in order to keep him, or if he was going to walk. And had he walked, the audience, even though they've not seen a fucking thing about it, the audience would have been 100% behind him on all this stuff. It would have been a bad look for Marvel.
But here's the thing.
With the reinterest of Blade after Wesley Snipes shows back up as Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's what I was about to say, is like, do you think anyone cares though now? Because of what happened in Deadpool and Wolverine, that whole little nod to like, there's only going to be one Blade. It's at some point, maybe we just kind of want to see Wesley Snipes do it again.
He's too old to do all of that stuff.
But you can make him the Whistler character as a new kind of guy that
he should be old Blade dealing with new Blade. You know,
I don't know.
They'll work him into it. They have to.
That's what I'm saying. Like
the fucking buzz that he got, the pop, that he got for showing up in Deadpool Wolverine.
God, it was awesome.
Rekindled a lot of interest in Blade, in Wesley Snipes as Blade. He will have to be in there at some point. So maybe it's the passing of the torch, like when, like in Highlander, when Sean Connery was helping what's his name from the TV show.
Oh God, yeah, Adrian.
Am I getting that right, or was there the other Highlander that?
No, the other Highlander was helping the guy from the TV show. Sean Connery was already out by then.
Okay,
Sean Connery only did like the first two movies, and after that, he
right. But did he die? I'm trying to remember. Did he die, or did he hand it off? Like he walked away or something?
The Sean Connery character,
the Sean Connery Highlander.
Oh, he died. He died in the first movie. And then he got brought back in the second movie somehow. You don't want to get into the Highlander movies. They're weird.
Whatever. Thank you, Christopher Lambert. Yes, that's who I was thinking of. All right. What else do we have here Marvel wise? Midnight Suns possibly fast tracked after the Blade delay. What is this?
Segue. So Marvel continues to launch darker and kind of like edgier stuff. We talked about that we really liked Werewolf by Night. Some of the characters from in there, like Man-Thing and Elsa Bloodstone and stuff like that, they're trying to launch kind of like a darker version, kind of like Universal Monsters.
Does Man-Thing ever fight the Thing?
No, I think Man-Thing was their version of Swamp Thing, because Swamp Thing I think is DC.
Yes,
so it was like their version of it. But they were trying to do like darker characters like Moon Knight and all that stuff. So they have been in talks originally to kind of do a Midnight Suns movie, which is kind of like a dark character team up, more supernatural, more spooky. And Blade is usually a part of that. Well, now that Blade's not in there, they're thinking this is going to be a way to kind of backdoor his character into the MCU again. And maybe that's how they keep Mahershala Ali's character in the movie and also get the actor paid. So they're about to maybe focus on that, trying to get a director on, and try to maybe get that stuff going. So that's the big rumor right now, is that they're going to try to replace Blade with Midnight Suns instead, since they've already established some of the other characters from some of those other properties.
Why not?
I think it's great. Yeah.
Moving on, Agatha all along, as we said, has seen a lot of growth from where it started. A lot of good word of mouth on that. Yep. With each episode, the ratings have been going up, which has been a rarity nowadays for Star Wars and Marvel and those kind of things. We see the tragedy that Star Wars has just been putting out project after project. Marvel seems to be finding its footing somewhat again, thanks to Deadpool, and Agatha is now hitting. So what's the next project that comes out?
The next project is going to be, I think, not Winter Soldier, Falcon. I think it's going to be Captain America is the next Marvel thing. As far as TV goes,
Captain America Brave New World, February 14th.
Yeah. Fantastic Four's next year.
Thunderbolts is next year.
Thunderbolts. I don't think
Ironheart is next year.
Ironheart. Oh, crap. Yeah. That's going to be the next TV project.
Right.
And I don't think we see that till later in the year.
Right.
I don't think I want to see it, but yeah.
All right. So good for Agatha. Moving on, the Russo brothers reveal when Avengers Doomsday will release. That was one of the biggest things ever to come out of Hall H
in a while
at San Diego Comic-Con. I think it rivals the appearance of Loki.
That was a good reveal. Yeah, when he showed up.
Huge. Yeah. So they are saying that it's going to be released worldwide May 1st, 2026.
I feel like that's really fast.
But did not say when it was planned to start filming. So,
again, it just feels very quick, like a quick turnaround. A lot of these projects take
that's
2-3
not true,
years.
because there's been an update. Avengers Doomsday will officially begin filming in the spring.
Okay.
And it has already secured a start date, which they have not revealed, but it's supposed to be in the spring of 2025. Joe Russo said at an interview at New York Comic Con. There we go.
So if they do plan to release it May 2026, you're looking at filming, editing, and all the special effects this movie's probably going to do, and then have it on the shelf in theaters in less than a year.
Right.
That's a scary proposition, because they already have issues when they rush projects out Marvel-wise with animators and all the VFX people. So I don't know.
All right.
Timeline seems a little weird.
Let's race and bring this home here. Spider-Man 4 has a release date revealed of July 24th, 2026, starring Tom Holland. He released some information, I think, before New York Comic Con, that he has read the script and all of that. So he knows everything that's going to happen. It's of course, a joint venture with Columbia Pictures, which is Sony. Will debut shortly after Avengers Doomsday, which comes out May 1st, as we said. So this will be good.
Yeah, the guy who directed Shang-Chi is going to be the director, Destin Daniel Cretton.
Yeah.
So that should be cool.
And it's going to be in production in mid 2025.
Right.
We talked about this. We talked about that. Alien Romulus was such a hit that they're looking to make a sequel now, is the rumbling going around. And that they're going to be releasing the movie on VHS.
Such a weird thing to try to do.
Yeah.
But kind of cool.
It has been... it will end an 18-year-old streak. Released a big studio-backed VHS copy of a movie. The last movie released on VHS was A History of Violence. Excuse me. Alien Romulus 2 is currently being worked on. And yeah, there you go. So for you collectors, you can go out there and get an actual VHS tape that will just sit on your shelf and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because I can't think of any device that I could probably go out to get a VHS.
And then finally, an update with Chick-fil-A streaming service. It's going to be an app now, and it's coming out. It's already out, so we missed it for last week. It's the Chick-fil-A Play is what it's called. You can go to the app stores now and get it. Will come loaded with video content, games, and more. And the news was released on the 21st. The app comes out November 18th. I had it back here. My apologies. It's designed for families to enjoy while they're eating. It's to help to improve their dining experience at Chick-fil-A. The app will include the following: for watching original animated shows, including Legends of Evergreen Hills and a playful new adventure with the animated Chick-fil-A cows, designed in the landscape format for watching on your device or cast to another viewing device. For listening, there's kid-friendly original scripted podcasts. For playing, there's games, jokes, and conversation starters, which this sounds terrible. I mean, this is sounding like, the little thing they have on the table at like TGI Fridays or Chili's.
Yeah, where you pay your bill, but you also get to watch things.
Play games and stuff. Yeah,
right.
Bar games. Create video-based recipes and kid-friendly crafts. Or if you want to read anything, they have ebooks and interactive stories available.
You know what I'm not going to be doing while I'm eating my Chick-fil-A? Touching a screen that everyone has been touching all day.
That's covered in Chick-fil-A sauce.
So gross.
Or like miscellaneous.
This episode of whatever is covered in Chick-fil-A sauce. No, thank you.
Correct. All right. We do need to get out of here, so we have to do the plugs. And that means, Jordan, our nation's eyes turn to you.
I don't know why. I don't do anything anymore. I've been streaming Rock Band, where Rob and everybody can judge my terrible Rock Band playing. If you want to see that, you can come to Twitch, JinxRonin79, X, Instagram, at JinxRonin. Other than that, I'm coaching, helping coach, 13-year-old girl volleyball teams, and driving down to Tucson to do work and, see people.
All right. A lot of fun stuff. Yeah, we didn't even talk about your volleyball. You're a volleyball coach now.
We won today, kicking ass already.
we'll do that next time. For me, it's Eric Nagel across the board on all the social medias for me and for the show content. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, it's at this point, it was a pre-record, so it's not live, but thank you for doing so anyway. If you're listening to us on any other platforms, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, do us a kindness, go over there, leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. Please go do that. We were doing pretty well for a while, and then seems to slow down again. So if you haven't gone over to any of those platforms, even if you didn't get it on that platform, go over to Apple and Spotify and just give us 5 stars, and then be on your merry way. We ask for so little for you, and we give you way too much show that nobody asks for. Or if you want to join us live each and every week in our live rooms, head over to YouTube and to Twitch, all under It's Eric Nagel, and you can come and be a part of the program, join our live chat, and what have you. So that is it. We are out of here. So until the next time, everybody,
be excellent to each other,
and we'll be seeing you.
It's Eric Nagel.
I dump your ass.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Eric Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itsericnagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.